Listen, listen, listen. Welcome to Monday Night Toy Ramblings, where this is the first of many days in a row that you will get to see me live on the air because, as you know, every day I seem to do something. Although I did nothing this weekend and it felt absolutely great to not go on any lives, to hardly participate in anything. Hell, I really didn't even create any content. It's nice to get away, and God knows this week going into next week is going to be a hell of a week. And then we have Joe Fest, which, oh boy, I can't wait. But I think you guys all know my feelings on Joe Fest. I think it's seriously just the most fun that I had as an adult, hanging out with my friends. Um, that I probably ever had, and I know it's a sore spot for some people, but hey, you know what? There's other conventions you can go to and have a great time, and I hope you all do. So anyway, hope everyone had a great weekend. Thank you guys all for joining me. I had I can't say a rough weekend, but it was good. You know, I told you that my ceiling fan died, and well, I ordered another one, and of course everything is LED lights now. So I order one off Amazon. It gets here. I install it Friday night, and it has built-in LED lights, which I think is awesome. I have an LED light downstairs in the kitchen. The problem is it only shoots down for the most part, which means I had to get another lamp for for the other side of the room because it's just too dark. Um, But the lamp that I ordered was like this $120 lamp for like $30 on Amazon, and it has all kinds of different shades, just like a ring light, except for it's not. So it actually got swapped. So hopefully I'll be able to get like dusk and nighttime shots over here with all the stuff that I got. So anyway, and then Saturday, if you guys, the one bit of content I did create was I went out and skated a little bit, and let me just tell you, I thought I was gonna be really sore on Sunday. I wasn't that sore. Today, on the other hand, I am as sore as all hell. Holy crap. I gotta stop doing that. I gotta stop starting skating again. I just gotta keep it going because holy crap, man. It has been a rough day. Just moving around, walking, everything hurts, lifting my legs. Whew. I'm not a big fan of that, I gotta say. So anyway, I think I'm gonna do that every week. Just try and post a little short, help me incentivize me to continue to get out there. Maybe try and learn a new trick, relearn tricks. I don't really learn new tricks. I relearn tricks from my past. So anyway, let's say hi to the chat. There is 39 of you right now. Please hit that like button if you haven't. We got a lot to talk about today. A lot of GI Joe news and some other news that kind of gets mixed in there, but hell, let's be honest, there was a lot of GI Joe news. So to kick it off, we got Roll Keeper in here first saying hello. If the HasLab's the Snowcat, I get it. The OG one is one of my favorites. I think I think a lot of people feel that way, and I think there's a lot of people that are saying they don't want it, but they'll buy it when it comes out. Or maybe they won't, and maybe this will be the first failed HasLab. We'll see. Same time, Toys is here. We have Menhoza here. We have Matthew Matson with his. I actually got that queued up this time. Machine Man SCS, a dog, U.S. Combat Dojo, Derek Holloman. We have Snow Wolf, who I know, come on, you got to want the Snowcat, right? David R. Plastic Fantastic, who I have been talking to today. And let's just say, what was it? Whirlwind? Is that what we're going with? Volleyball, Whirlwind. What was it? Just remember that if you're gonna go to Joe Fest, here, I gotta pull this up really quickly. I know you're like, what the hell? But just remember this. Where is it at? Whirly Bird. Just remember the word Whirly Bird at Joe Fest if you're going. We have a Sabira Del Norte here, Beardy Big Beardison. Whew. Okay. Soul Brother number one, not two, three. We have DJ Five Ash. Um, I totally forgot what I used to call you. Tony, where are you? What I used to call DJ Five Ash. DJ Feevish. That's what it was. Viper Scout is here. We have Joe ARAH, a real American hero. Says, man, it better be a snowcat. I just splurged on snow job and a plethora of Arctic bats. Oof, man. I hope you didn't pay too much. The Arctic bat is not the best bat. I'm just going to say that. Johnny B54 is joining us. We have 3-star Draw, who I will be on this Wednesday after the Circle of Jerks, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Todd C is here. And we have Nolan, which makes us Toy Tube official. We have Tony's Figs, who I think he has an announcement coming up. I don't know if he's announcing it yet, what he's doing, and I'm still waiting. All right. Let's see. Rowdy Riles is here, who will be my guest this Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it won't be a rush, I don't believe, although I can only go so long, let's be honest. All right. We have Rad Toys Galaxy. Let's see here. We have Wolverine Ortiz. I do like that. That I don't know. There's something funny about that. I'm assuming that your name is Will. I don't know. That makes me laugh for some reason. We have a local base walker. Can you compare the sizes of the Hiss, Vamp, and Snowcat? Thanks. Well, I can't do it while I'm live, but I can do it for you. I can probably do the picture tomorrow. I already got. Well, you'll see the comparison of the Snowcat and Hiss towards the end of this. But I can probably put that together sometime this week when I get a little bit of time. Ted Knight is here. We have Allison Troy, Jay Astro, and let's see here, isn't it? Yeah, Feevish. That's right. We have a Shark Eyes is here. ICT, Vinny, John E. I don't have room for a big Arctic display. Only interested in jungle, woodland, desert, and urban. And that, again, that's one of those things that I do kind of wonder if people, if it will be a turnoff to them. Because they don't do Arctic. They don't live in an area where there's snow. But the one thing that I'm learning more and more as I do more and more photography, whether it be good or not, is that you start buying stuff just so you can do it and use it in pictures, not just a display. If you don't do that, then hey, you know what? I fully understand. But and again, I fully do that. Jamie Batson, right? If the Snowcat is the HasLab, do you see much of a classified 2026 lineup of figures being Snow Arctic related? I do. And Tony's Fake says, I'm to announce nothing. All right. All right. Anyway, thank you guys all for showing up here. Whew. Let's see here. Rowdy says, well, I got to be at work at 2 a.m. the next day so we can make it a little shorter than usual. I know you can go for 4 hours sometimes, but it will be fun. That's actually not false in many aspects of my life. Anyway, but yeah, it's one of those. We'll have fun, Rowdy. And again, I will shoot you a link, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, man, I'm way off today. I've been doing all these other chats with other people. So, is there anything else that I need to say? Okay, so anyway, classic reviews. If you have been watching, paying attention, I think this is where I'm supposed to be very. What was that word that I was used? I forget. Someone used a very mean word on me. So, Action Figs is join us. Sorry, lost track of time. I'm here now. Anyway, classic reviews. I dropped Spirit, Thunder, and the Slugger. But I gotta say, I was really surprised that Thunder for the figure did as well as it did with views. It is hard for me to try and pin down when I'm doing these classic reviews what's going to do well and what's not. There's certain things I think like, hey, this probably won't do that well, and it does really good, like the Vamp Mark II and Clutch version 2. And I'm like, wow, then the Stinger and the Stinger driver should do really well, and it didn't do that well, considering they are so similar. But yeah, it's definitely one of those. It's one of those things trying to figure it out. But this week, and I like again, I go back to Scrap Iron. I thought Scrap Iron would be like people would love that because of all the little, the rocket launchers and everything. But he didn't do that well, which is odd. Um, this week I have Firefly, Wild Weasel, and the Rattler. They're all done for July or for June. I gotta say, working on July really soon, but I want to get to Joe Fest and see if there's anything that I can pick up. I'm definitely I'll be looking for some stuff, but again, you got to watch your spending because you can really go off the deep end. Bobby Wald says, "Why are you wearing Cobra Blue with a GI Joe logo?" I don't know. It's just how it came. Grizzlehorn saying, "Hit that like button, please do." Scrap Iron is number 1. Is he? I actually really like Scrap Iron. Even as a kid, like I never thought he had a giant head like a lot of people thought. He just had a big helmet, which I don't know what else you expect from it. Anyway, as I did kind of mention, I did drop a skating short. Oh, I also recorded. I actually put my my display back together, my classified display. So you guys kind of got a quick look at it in under 60 seconds. I gotta say that thing is getting larger and larger and larger. And eventually you have to start retiring some of these figures back into the box. But yes, Beardy says he's Flint in disguise. If only Leatherneck had gone in disguise, that would have been that much better, right? And Ed here is saying 1 week and a few days, and we can forget reality for a weekend. And I don't know. Do you think they'd care if we left now and just hung out in the lobby until Thursday? Yeah, this working a whole week is going to be rough. And I work till Wednesday, but I can tell you guys right now, Wednesday I will be completely checked out because the thought of that drive is going to be crazy. Matthew says the hotel might. If we're not that rowdy, is it really that big of a deal? It's like, hey, I have reservations. Yeah, they may get a little aggravated, but that, hey, it doesn't matter because the truth is, and I mentioned this. I know I mentioned this before. I am not looking forward to the drive there, and I'm definitely not looking for the drive back. But every second that we're there, going back to last year, I'm assuming this year will be the same. It is all worth it. I mean, it really is. There is something very special about this show, and again, I think it's just because you're in a hotel room or you're in a hotel along with the convention, and that's where most of the people are staying. You don't have to leave, you don't have to go back. Everyone is good people there. We didn't see anyone having any problems, so I know I'm looking forward to it. This guy right here, Sharlock here, jumping in here. I know he's looking for it. We got just Jeff jumping in here. We got not Rachel Salinas jumping in here. Say Matthew Madsen's glad to see the flying monkeys that didn't carry you away. Yeah, Plastic Fantastic, 13-hour drive. Well, but you're going with somebody, so you guys get to split it, right? Ed and myself, like we're both driving solo. With all that said, that is not me saying, hey, is there anyone that wants to carpool with me? Because the truth is, I don't. Doing a road trip with a friend that you've never gone on a road trip with is a sure way to possibly lose a friend. Ed and I have already talked about it. There are some people. I drove from Arizona back to Michigan with one of my best friends in high school, and I wanted to kill him by the end of the time. I don't think I talked to him about a week or two after. It seemed like a great idea, but um, Shark Guy says, "Punk, are you looking forward to going to Joe Fest just to be seen?" Well, would I have this big bright blue GI Joe shirt if I wasn't? And I got a red Cobra shirt. Yes, I'm all about just being seen, because that's all that it is, man. It's just to be seen and hang out with people. Evo Dookie jumping in here saying, "What's up, everyone? Sorry I'm late. Punk, never be sorry about that." I'm glad that anyone can join us. The other video that I finally put together was, and there's no talking in it, which is really odd for me, is I put together the Motor City Comic Con. Now I believe they do a second one that is not as big, but I wanted to put the spring one together, because I've talked about it before, just how big it is, and I kind of was expecting PowerCon to be the same, and then you realize how much smaller it is. And then Joe Fest was small, wasn't as small as PowerCon, but Joe Fest is also much, much, much smaller than Motor City Comic Con. Now, they are two different types of convention. One is celebrities galore with huge lines, artist alleyway, comic books, different booths and different dealers and stuff like that. But I wanted to kind of just do a video and show off everything that's going there. And to be honest, I didn't even get everything. Um, it seemed it actually didn't seem as, I don't want to say not as big, but it didn't seem like there was as many people dressing up as I've seen in the past. And also, if you watch the video, there's only 100 people that have watched it. You get to see Olivia act like Olivia towards the beginning of it. Ed says Punk has to wear bright shirts to be seen. Can't see him in a crowd. He's just a little guy. But you know what? That can come in handy. Just letting you know. That can come in real handy when we're trying to ditch someone. And they can spot you, but me, I'm just cruising right through the crowd and no one can find me. So you just remember that, Ed, when you're stuck talking to people. And I'm not. So anyway, this week we got a hell of a week. Like I said, we got tonight. Tomorrow, well, you know what tomorrow is? It is our new show, and that is what the hell is that show? It is the Circle of Jerks.
Fired? Have you recently lost your job with a major toy manufacturer? Tariffs got you down? You may be entitled to sharing your story on a major media streaming outlet. We want you to dish the dirt. Call Circle of Jerks at 900-555-0979. We will exploit you for our personal gain. That number again is 900-555-0979. Circle of Jerks. Every client gets a cookie.
All right, that's at 6:30 p.m. You will see me, Baldy Locks, Spec, Terry, possibly Tony, I don't know. And then at 9 p.m. we get the Toy League takeover. Ed, you guys are still on at 9, right? I know you've been switching to Wednesdays at times, but I think you're still doing it. So if you are, please drop a link. Then at 10 p.m., Matthew Matson and Pop Blender, they are doing their thing at 10 p.m. for the evening blend. I'll play that commercial later on. I think you guys are supposed to be working on another commercial. I'll believe that I'll get a commercial from them well before I get a commercial from the guy that does 10-minute AI intro videos that no one wants to see. But I don't want to put Travis out and then have him do a commercial to promote his show or anything. Toy Matrix jumping in here saying, "Yo, Punk, yo, Ramblers, checking in on break at work. Punk, your skate video was cool. Keep them up. Keep them coming, please." I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and pump one out once a week on the weekend. It gives me incentive just to get out there, at least during the summer. But yeah, I'm definitely going to and try and do different tricks, because believe me, I can just do the same tricks over and over and over and over again. Anyway, this Wednesday there will be a special missions Circle of Jerks, because guess what? There's a fan stream for GI Joe. I know you guys are like, holy crap, you like GI Joe? Yeah, I kind of like GI Joe just a little bit, although I haven't had a GI Joe shirt since I was a kid, if you can believe that. But I bought a GI Joe and a Cobra one because I'm a total GI shill. But But anyway, 8 p.m. I believe we're going to be doing it. It won't run that late. It should run into 9:30, and then later on that night, and I will promote it. I will send you guys over there. I'm going to be on the Backyard Battlefield. I think that's the name of it. 3-star draw and Pop Blender. I'm not sure if that one's called the Battlefield, Backyard Battlefield, or if that's the only one he does with Krusty O'Crow. But I will be on there along, I believe, with other people. I think I'm supposed. I don't think I'm. It's supposed to be a secret, but it's all going to be people that are going to Joe Fest, so we can sit there and we can shill about how great Joe Fest is and how it's better than everything else. Okay, Seven's wild. I don't know why, dude. You have 2 different fucking shows on. Let me tell you how that works. It doesn't fucking work. I know, because I used to do 2 different Thursday shows, 2 different names. Stupid. Just have one name. Sorry. Sorry. Joe Fan 84 jumping in here. So anyway, that will be my Wednesday. This Thursday, as I mentioned early, Rowdy Riles will be my guest on Thursday with a friend. I haven't talked to her. I talked to him. Actually, the first time we talked was about the Maximum Spider-Man, where I had to jump in because I got so tired of everyone's opinion and I wanted to have my opinion. But you know what's crazy? We had different opinions, yet we were able to talk like adults. What a concept that is. So I'm looking forward to talking with Rowdy. And then I almost forgot it, and I can't believe no one's even asked me. This Friday, if you are a channel member, Punk's Pit, we will be doing it 10 p.m. I just have to create the thumbnail, which is literally go back to the old one and then put June. So we'll have that going, and then I'm probably gonna stay off live streams the rest of the weekend, I guess, till Monday, where we start wrapping up the build up to Joe Fest. I can't wait. If you didn't know, I'm really excited about Joe Fest. It's gonna be awesome once again. Just to see my friends that I've made here. I'm telling you guys, if you haven't gone or you don't know about going, you need to go, because I don't think any of you will regret it. Viper Scout says, "You're not my friend unless you believe everything I do." Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that that's how some people actually do think? So, and we have Crash jumping in here saying, "Lawrence Joe Fest, baby." I know Crash is going to be there. A lot of people at the Delta 17 booth. So I'm excited, because guess who's going to have product? Delta 17. Guess who's not going to have product? I don't think anyone else. No, there'll be a few things I do believe. So anyway, whew, I don't have much more to talk about until we get in the news. Sponsors, you guys know it. Hella Dope Toys. They're starting to get stuff in there. If you don't have to be first, like some people, I like to be as early as possible doing reviews. Hella Dope Toys. Use my code APWT. You get 10% off your entire order. That's pre-order, or if it's in stock, which no one else tends to do. Charlotte got his stickers in. I think I saw that. And what's actually kind of funny is this guy, and I told Tony, you pussed out by opting out of their texts and email. So we use Sticky Brand. I'm almost scared to even say it, because I have a feeling I'll start getting texts and emails right now. Sticky Brand is maybe the most persistent company that I have ever ordered from, to the point that it is just hilarious. Like, Tony knows. Like, I would literally, sometimes I would get a Sticky Brand. It's too late. Sometimes I'd get I get a Sticky Brand text or an email. I'm like, I should call Tony. Dude, they are awful. Again, great stickers. We got this. Oops. You guys did see this, right? That is I can't say Joe Fest exclusive, but I don't think I'm going to do another run of them. But I'll have these at Joe Fest. There's only 100 of them, or maybe 200. I don't know. I think there's only 100. I don't remember. But anyway, They will hound you. And I'm like, dude, I bought 700 stickers. I don't know how fast you thought I was going to get rid of 700 stickers, but I promise I will rebuy them from you. They are great quality. But for the love of God, please leave me alone. I will buy them again from you. Yes, they are persistent. Matthew, I will make sure that you will get one. Don't worry about that. But I'm only putting a few aside from basically people that I do shows with. Everyone else, Joe Fest. That's where you can get it. So anyway, whew. Is there any more to get into? I don't know. There's not. I'm trying to think. Do I have anything else? I had no reviews other than classic reviews. Who knows? That might change eventually. That would be awesome. I skated. I said hello to all of you guys. I told you where I'm going to be. You guys know where I'm always going to be. So anyway, I just think that maybe we should just get into everything. But you know what? Before we do, we always got to hear from my number one sponsor, A.W.E Toys.
Oh, hey guys. So Lawrence, he had to step away for a little bit. He's got a case of the grumble dust. So he asked me to kind of watch over a stream. He put me in charge of y'all. He said to me, "Oh, man, I have a case of the grumble dust, and I need you to watch myself for a little bit so nobody leaves and finds out that there's more interesting things to watch on YouTube. And also, I hate Ohio." So I was like, oh, dang, so now I have to come up with a topic for my very own show. And I was like, oh, what about talking about your favorite toy stores? So my favorite toy store is HelloDopeToys.com. So they used to have this really bad website. It used to look real scammy. Like if I gave them money, they were going to go spend it on like blow and hookers. But now their website is really nice. And like I can just go in and do like 1-2 click. And then my order's placed. And they ship super fast, guys. They ship everything in 1 business day. So like I get all my toys first. So when I'm out there on the playground and all my friends are like, oh, dang, man, where'd you get that action figure? I still have to wait 17 months for mine. And I'm just like, well, I went to HelloDopeToys.com and I just pushed the buttons and then they shipped it out to me. And the packaging is so nice, guys. Like, I opened up the box and I was like, oh, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this kind of packaging. It's so nice. But then my trash can gets full because of all the packing stuff. And I was just like, oh, dang, I just changed the trash. But now I gotta change the trash again. Oh, you're right, Matthew Matson. You can use the code APWT at HelloDopeToys.com and save 10% on your order. So how that works is, so you're gonna save 10%, and then a Punk with Toys, he has to pay that 10% that y'all saved. So if you don't like Lawrence, you can just go to HelloDopeToys.com and just buy a bunch of stuff and rack up his bill. So then like at the end of the month, they're like, Hello Toys is like, oh, Lawrence, you owe us $1 million because of all the 10% codes that everybody used. And yeah, that's how that works. Okay, guys, so it looks like it's time for me to go now. So make sure you go to HelloDopeToys.com and like and subscribe. And then in the comments, put what your favorite toy store is. But if it's not HelloDopeToys.com, I'm probably just going to delete it, okay? So, all right, guys, bye!
I hate Ohio. Shark, I don't know what you mean. I have no idea what you're talking about. Yes. No, and I like Lego Star Wars Kid says, oh my gosh, we don't want the Snowcat. I don't fully agree with you. It is a very iconic vehicle that was used an awful lot. And remember, it's something that can also, I mean, it can be used anywhere. Because there's no skids on it. You have treads and you have wheels. We'll talk about it later. I do think that it is a gamble because there are a lot of people that do not live in any place they get snow, so they don't really care about it. But it's funny because I've talked to Tony and other guys in warm states, and they said they absolutely love it. So I guess we will see, right? Toy Matrix at Joe Fest. If you're not going to be at Joe Fest, then I'll send some out, but I'm not sending out the Roman ones till after Joe Fest, and I see what I have left. So, Bobby Wold says, "Why does Mossman have teeth? Isn't his food sunlight and water?" That's a great question. We already got we already got the Striker HasLab. Nobody wants. I'm telling you, I don't. I truly don't. I don't believe hardly anyone really wants a classified scale Sky Striker. I can't believe people would really want that. Anyway, Beardy McBearderson says everyone thinks the HasLab is Cobra Joe. Cobra Joe. Who says that's the rule? I say it's the Arctic Hiss with patches. No, they would. No, 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 no. It hasn't been confirmed, but I have seen talk between a couple people that pretty much someone kind of says, yeah, it's people don't realize that it was said that people don't realize the Snowcat is actually bigger than the Hiss, the original one. So the collector is joining us. Where I thought I'll buy the Snowcat, but I was hoping I'm with you. I much would have rather had the whale because I know people are like, I don't want the whale. It's a water vehicle. Do you remember it's a hovercraft? You know that hovercrafts go on land also. There was a reason why it had wheels, not because they just wanted you to roll it. It was meant to go on land also. And then we have Frank at Dumonia jumping on here. Machine Man, how much will it be? I'm guessing around 300. That's my guess. 300 to 325. That sounds about right. Hey, listen, I'd be glad. I paid 300. I don't want to say what I'd spend on a whale if it was HasLab, because I don't want people from Hasbro being like, wait a minute, that asshole said he'd pay this. He has 83 people watching. Well, there's 83 people right there that would buy it. Oh, is this Crimson Cobra Commander jumping in here saying, hey, everyone, I can't wait for the Snowcat, and I live in Florida. Yeah, and again, there's a lot of people. And again, me coming from Michigan, I never really thought about that because I never thought like, I don't want desert because we have dirt. But there are a lot of people, believe it or not, that have never seen snow in their life. It sounds crazy, but it is true. They've never seen real snow. Charlotte, I know, has seen real snow. Snowcat might be the first HasLab I skip, depending on what the patches look like. I'm with you. And then we have Capitan jumping in here saying, long time no see. I'll love a Sky Striker. Well, you ain't gonna get one. It's just too big. I would not have room for it. Would I buy it? Probably. But I don't even want to think about it. So anyway, let's get into some of the news. And we're going to start off with two things that I don't really talk about. And one is Ghostbusters. And I'm only talking Ghostbusters because these are, from what I can tell, Hasbro Pulse exclusives, and they're 6-inch figures. So I know a lot of people are big into Ghostbusters. Don't worry, I don't have the Proton Pack or nothing like that in here. But I did want to throw these in there because, I know that we talked about the Ecto-1 when it was the HasLab, and I said, if you get the upscale one, this is something really good because you can get everything in one shot. You get all 4 figures. And you're going to get your Ecto-1, you're going to get your Slimer, and then you get a couple other figures to go with it. Maybe you want to, fill in a few here and there, but you can get everything. I think this is actually pretty good, a pretty good deal. $100 for all four figures, and all but Bill Murray. I can't think of his name. Come with something other than just the Proton Pack and the gun. I'm sorry, I don't the Neutron Wand or something like that. Let's see here. ICT says I've heard these are re-release figures. I don't know. I know they went up there. He says oh shit. Man, why? Kelshave says, how do they scale? How's the articulation? Very similar to Classified. So they'll scale with Classified. I'm not sure if the articulation is the exact same, um, but I don't believe that they are like uh, Marvel Legends, where they have the twist body that so many people hate, and I'm one of them. Like the way the GI Joe is designed is way better. They really need to start changing. Marvel Legends needs to start changing that type of stuff. So, and this Crimson Cobra Commander says, Bobby, I rather see a rooftop or the firehouse. You're talking about the firehouse would have been a great HasLab, because you could use it for so many other things, right? Especially with GI Joe having a firefighter. You kind of missed a boat there. Anyway, here we have Spangler with his I don't know what the hell this thing is. I can't think of it. Again, I'm not a huge Ghostbusters fan, but I don't hate it either. There's a neutron dance. That's exactly what I was thinking. And when I was thinking it, all I was thinking was Beverly Hills Cop. But I still try and figure out exactly where in Beverly Hills Cop, where in Detroit that they were driving down. Although it's been 40 years, but I'm sure some of those buildings are still decrepit. So anyway, you're gonna get the proton pack, you're gonna get the gun, and then you get the whatever this thing is that comes with it. Again, I think this one looks pretty good. Now, I don't see any ab crunch, but I don't know. These have to be some sort of digital renders. At least that's what it looks like to me, considering it doesn't look like they have knees either. Although you can see the double elbows, but again, I think they look pretty good. And again, they're just going to be a repaint of each figure, I think, for the most part. We got Viper Scout, who is a member for 18 months, which means you get a
fucking Phil Collins.
No, I still hope one day Phil Collins hears that and is like, "What the fuck is this about?" Yes, it is a stud finder. PKE meter. Thank you very much, the collector. So here he is, kind of armed up. Maybe they don't have ab crunches. That seems really odd, unless if this is a soft overlay. I don't know. You guys tell me. Matthew says these are just repaints. Okay, well, they put them up, and I'm talking about them. Here we have Ray Stantz. Not the greatest face sculpt, but once you put his little glasses on or whatever these things are, I think you're not going to be able to tell. I do think they got the hair pretty good. Again, same things here. You got the neutron or the stream that you don't want to cross. Again, these would work with classified if you're just sitting there and you're just trying to if you're just trying to work something in and just want to have something in the side. So I don't think they're bad at all. Again, not something I'm going to get into, but I also don't need another line to collect. Turk Murphy Toy Solution jumping in here. We have Sarge and Reds. Like you have ab crunching action. I do. It doesn't have a whole lot of range these days. Hi, it's me jumping in here. And then we'll get to Venkman. And all right, I've heard a lot, and I've heard the complaints, and I mean, you can see which one of the Ghostbusters this is, but I do think that this is probably the worst face sculpt of the four. They don't give him anything extra. He should have had maybe a face shield. But yeah, face sculpt is not the greatest on this. Even though you're going back in time, this doesn't look really. I mean, again, you could tell this is Bill Murray from there, but I don't think I ever seen Bill Murray with something like this. Now, I think what would have been really cool about this, since he does not have an accessory, had you done a second face, a second head sculpt with like slime on it, like he just got slimed. That would have actually been pretty cool. But no matter how you look at it, yeah, it doesn't really look like Bill Murray at all. So, there's some people, Princess Leia, Mark Hamill, they just can't seem to really get the faces right for some odd reason. But hey, you never know. Maybe there's just that one day. Toy Bounty Hunter jumping in here says, I could repurpose these guys being used as the janitors at the pit. And that's what I'm saying. Like, these suits, I think, work for a lot of things. And it's $100 for all 4 of them. And then we have, I can't think of this guy. And I can't read his name. Someone will yell at me. But hey, you know what? Just remember this. All right. When we're doing stuff like this, where did I put it at? Yeah, I forgot to play this right at the beginning because
I don't go through all the graphics before the show.
So anyway, Winston, thank you very much. I have seen Ghostbusters. There's a lot of things I have not seen, but yes, I have seen Ghostbusters. I think these are really good, like you said, to turn into janitors for anything, right? For Marvel Legends, for GI Joe. Again, we're not all one-trick ponies here. We don't only talk GI Joe, contrary to what a lot of people might think. So anyway, Andrew Taylor jumping in here to let me know that it is also Winston. So anyway. Looks like Aykroyd cosplaying as Murray. Wait a minute. I kind of actually see it. Okay. So anyway, that was the Ghostbusters section. That's all you get, Just Jeff. That's all you're going to get from Ghostbusters from me. And then we get this Transformers. I normally don't talk Transformers. Now, this just came out. I swear that this was shown off before. I swear the Full Force talked about this. Maybe they talked about it when the comic came out, that it had Jetfire and these Void Rivals, which I know absolutely nothing about. Maybe that's why I was thinking, because I was sure, like, is this supposed to be special? Because I thought that I had seen it, but I'm putting it in there because these are O-ring figures with a Jetfire. This is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I think it looks really good. If you're into the O-ring, if you're into Jetfire, if you're into Transformers. Now I know people have kind of complained. They said they've already got this Jetfire numerous times, so maybe you don't want to spend the money for whatever it's going to be. Hell, this thing will probably be $200. But yeah, so it's one of those things where who knows. But I think it looks really good. I think everyone always liked Jetfire. I know a lot of people want it to be in the version of oh God, what? I don't know why I can't think of it. The Macross, whatever it's called. Viper Scout says it's the third release. So yeah, and again, I know absolutely nothing about it. I really don't. But if you want it, it's going to be available. I have a feeling this is one that will be available. I worry more about the Cold Slither, I think, like most people. So we have War Chest full of toys jumping here, saying Jetfire looks badass. I agree. I mean, I think it looks really good. And Jetfire was such a cool Robotech. That's what I was trying to think of when I said Macross. But yeah, wasn't Veritech a skateboard brand, like a not really good skateboard? It was. So anyway, that is that's the section of things that I don't normally talk about. Now, don't worry, there's lots of stuff I don't know about. Yeah, see, Veriflex. Okay, I'm sorry. It's It's been a long time since I wrote a yeah, okay. So Veriflex was okay. I was thinking of Valterra. Valterra was like the really, really, really bad skateboards. Veriflex was like the decent skateboard if you weren't gonna buy real skateboards. A matter of fact, they actually had pros like Lance Mountain at one time. Anyway. Okay. So that's that. Again, I don't know much about it. I normally don't cover it. You probably won't hear me cover it, but it is O-ring version, so it can fit with any of the O-ring stuff that's going on. I know people love their O-ring right now. And Transformers, I mean, again, Jetfire is just really cool. And again, going back to the Ghostbusters, it's something that can fit with the 1/12 scale that most of us are collecting. All right, on to a little NECA. I tell you, man, sometimes NECA knocks things out of the park, and other times not so much. So anyway, this is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. So this little tiki trick-or-treater. I know a lot of people like these. At least I think they do. I see them all over the place. So I mean, they're pumping them out like crazy. I think they're only like $20. So this is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. We all remember these wonderful, these wonderful outfits. This is, again, if you live in a cold weather climate, these outfits are, if it's cold out, they're super cold. And if it's hot out, they are super, super hot. So pick your poison, right? Pick your poison on what you want. But again, I know a lot of people like these. I know they're doing the DC. If they make GI Joe Transformers, I'll probably pick those up. It's time to make GI Joe. Let's be honest. I think I was GI Joe like 3 years in a row with a really, really bad mask. But again, this is a little tiki guy. I don't really know much about it. Like, you want a tiki guy, you get a tiki guy. Just saying happy Halloween, but they do look cool, and again, a lot of fun, especially if you display and you do some sort of setup at Halloween, or maybe you love Halloween and you want little kids walking around with Michael Myers all over the place. And we have Matt O'Brien saying happy Monday, Lawrence and folks. Hope everyone is having a great night and stay safe. I guess I need to have Chris McLeod from the Full Force on a little bit more, so Matt remembers that we are still a channel. Jason S says, are they making a Darth Vader? I still remember the cold condensation from that shit plastic Darth Vader mask. I wonder if they'll do any Disney characters because they got to get the rights. Well, you know what? Well, they're doing Stitch. They're doing Disney characters. So there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to. That would be a hot seller. Like, I think the Star Wars ones would be huge. I think the GI Joe Transformers, I think those would be really big. The Marvel ones, Captain America, Spider-Man, Hulk, are you happy? I think those would be really good. But you're right, the Darth Vader. and these things, these are literal. I mean, this is what people wear in the saunas to lose like 20 pounds in like 3 hours. But anyway, this is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, so you'll be able to get it, I think, if you really do want it. All right, and there it is, Tiki Terror. Was anyone ever scared of tikis? I know I never was, but who knows? All right, and then there's this. Now, this is what I mean. Sometimes NECA knocks it out of the park. This is like a foul ball, and then strikeout. This looks so bad. Now these are from Wednesday, the Netflix show, which was a really good show, a lot of fun. I don't know who the fuck this is. This is not the actress that plays Wednesday. If anyone wants to complain about Bill Murray's face sculpt, I give you this. MCR says, what the hell with those face sculpts? Yeah, I don't even think this is the worst one in the pack. I don't think it's the worst one in the pack. That's the saddest part, right?
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Matt O'Brien with the $5 super chat saying, "Wow, Lawrence, that was cold. You know I love your channel. Just busy with life more than expect." No, I fully get it, man. Like I said, you guys know me by now. I'm gonna mess around. I'm gonna fuck around with you. No, dude, I appreciate anyone that has a chance to get in here. So, John E says that's Tori spelling. Holy crap. Someone needs to paint this blonde, and then you will have a 90210 Tori Spelling. Actually, this looks more like Tori Spelling if you give her glasses from Saved by the Bell. It's Jay Gonzo jumping in here, and then we have Norman Noria saying Falcon's girlfriend. Yeah, but they went and fixed Falcon. This again, it just looks really bad. And then this one looks even worse. Like this girl did not look like this, right? I mean, this was her roommate. I don't remember her roommate having like a pudgy face. I mean, this is just bad. Boba Fett Gaming jumping in here saying that looks like Lurch. Matt, you're right. The actress that plays Wednesday is super cute. That is not at all. Like I said, I think this one looks worse. So here she is. Again, it does look like Lurch. I fully see the original Lurch in here. Cal Shafe says, I thought they were Megan dolls because they're so creepy. I've never seen Megan, but I can see exactly what you're saying. This one here, like, again, I watched the show the one time, but I remember that because I remember them like neither one of them were this ugly. All right. Liquid Identity says, "Dear NECA, continue the D&D Ultimates line. Okay, thanks." Well, this is their horror. This is clearly their horror line. But yeah, again, just this is a miss on two levels. That like nobody in the boardroom said no. No, Bride of Chucky, come on. They get their Chucky dolls down pretty well. Again, when it comes to like these face sculpts, like sometimes they're hit or miss, but this looks nothing. And there's not like there's makeup to hide it or anything. Like with Beetlejuice, you have makeup that could hide it. There's nothing. It's really bad. So NECA, please, fix it. Monday Addams, kind of, not really. And here, like, this one bothers me more than the Wednesday by far. Johnny, I don't know if you're trying to be mean, but it does look like Emily from Hasbro. And especially with like the different colored hair, but you're absolutely right. It actually does look like Emily from Hasbro. That you kind of nailed it right there. Triple D says this is a horrible set of figures. Yeah, every time I look at it, I'm just like, this is creepy. And NECA, again, like they are real hit or miss. But I mean, I'm trying to think of other ones that they have that are this bad. So here's a set. You don't get a lot. It's a 2-pack, which means it's probably going to run you about $70. But yeah, you get a backpack and a couple books and some really ugly figures. Radnam says she has a very strong jaw. Quip jumping in here going, yikes. Probably like, shit. I probably should not have jumped in on this stream. Quip says the lie detector test determined Lurch is the father. You know what? Now we need a Murray and a Lurch figure. So this is a whole nother figure. And clearly someone said, yes, that face sculpt is so bad. Let's use it for a second figure. And of course, you got Thing here. What is that Thing? No, Thing was the little. What's the hand? Is it just hand? I don't know. Might be. It's been a long time. I'm not a big Addams family person. But anyway, everything on this is cool other than the face sculpt. It doesn't look anything like the original Wednesday. It doesn't look anything like the Wednesday from the movie. It doesn't look like anything from when, like, if they would have hit at least one of them, we could say, hey, you know what? Good job. But good Lord. They did not do a good job. So I saw Bill K jumping in here saying those are way ugly. They are. Yes, they are. But I do like this one here with the hand. I think this looks really good. Okay, I'm thinking of It. That's right. That's what I thought. Thing was hand. I was thinking of It. And I don't know why I started thinking It was Thing, but it is It. So I like the idea of this, but man, you really should have fixed. I mean, you decided to do two of these. And at what point does the actress have the right to say no? Or maybe that's the reason why they did it, is because they couldn't get the rights to it. So they completely. I mean, we've heard about that. They will do face sculpts that don't look like them. If I am correct, I believe when I had Mark from Gridiron, he talked about it when he worked at another company, that they were like, that face sculpt is too good. We don't want infringement rights on it. I think it was actually for Val Kilmer, which oddly enough, you'd get away with it these days because he changed completely before his passing. I know he died. We have Ronnie Trickshot jumping in here saying, good day, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Work is work. Good job on that. True story, that face sculpt is still better than first Falcon we received. I'll disagree with that. I'm not going to disagree. I'm just not going to agree. How about I just don't want either one of them? Yep, Johnny Reno jumping in here saying Val Kilmer. Yeah. But what was the figure for? Was it Real Genius that he did a Val Kilmer figure for? Or no, it was Young Guns, I think. I think it was Young Guns as not Reno. Johnny Reno was his nemesis. Anyway, everything else I think looks good, but again, they killed it. And not a lot of accessories, so hopefully this is a little bit cheaper. Which I don't know why. So, all right, and Matthew, I'm going to apologize because I meant to have the Predator in here. And I know I put these in after. I put these in today, so I know the Predator's not in here. I wanted to have the Samurai Predator. We'll chat about that at the end quickly. So, anyway, this is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, glow in the dark, and I think this actually looks pretty good. So, the Bride of Frankenstein with the Princess Leia cape from our childhood. I mean, this is, yeah. Yeah, oh, you're right. Tombstone. I'm sorry. I meant Tombstone, not Young Guns. You know what the fuck I meant. But total Princess Leia cape here. The matter of fact, this looks more like Princess Leia than the Power of the Force. Monkey Leia. But anyway, a fun looking figure. You got your glow in the dark. I've kind of gotten away from glow in the dark only because I have all these LED lights that are on 24/7. So nothing really tends to glow when you hit it. I have to turn everything off. But again, I do think this looks pretty cool. And again, if you want a Frankenstein Princess Leia, you can have one. So I think this actually does look pretty cool. So Not a bad sculpt. I mean, much better than what we just saw. And here's how she comes. Glows in the dark, as they tell you. These things, like if you go to Universal, not this one here, but I was shocked to see all like Universal has these. When we were there a couple years ago, having NECA figures, they were overpriced because it's at Universal Studios. So, anyway, but yeah, there you go. If you need it, I know people love the glow in the dark, and they also love their horror stuff. So, all right, so we'll just. I make mistakes. All right, it was not Young Guns. It was Tombstone. Although I love Young Guns too. They're trying to work on a Young Guns 3. We'll see how that works. Yeah, Joni's like, that Leia cape is ass cheeks. Need to trade out for the black. You know what I worry about the black light? If you have black lights, isn't it going to do the exact same thing if you have, you like a UV lights? Yeah, when you turn it off, everything's going to glow, but aren't you going to do the same damage that the sun does? I'm not willing to take that chance. So, I did want to put the NECA Predator. I'm not going to go and search for it. Maybe I will. I think Toy Arc has it, to be honest. But I did expect to have that because it's right here, so I can just kind of present this really quickly. If you haven't seen the NECA Predator, I think I'm actually going to have to get this eventually, just because. I mean, we have samurais coming out in GI Joe. I mean, it's almost like, it's almost like I need this just so I can just so I can have Budo fight him, because he looks like an actual samurai. And I actually meant to have this. I think this looks really good too. The samurai outfit really hides that it is a predator, so I think you can get away with it not being technically a predator. But this is actually really cool. So, Quip says it looks cool for a sec, but prolonged exposure to usage will degrade the plastic. And yeah, that's exactly what I assumed, because I mean, again, it's using the same, it's the same technology as the sun. But yeah, so I opted not to. I think Oz was gonna do it, and I was like, "You sure you want to do that?" Because I think it would degrade some of those figures, but I don't know if we ever got around to doing it. So, but again, I like this. Again, I think this is actually an awesome looking figure. Like most NECA figures, a lot of times they're really hit or miss with the articulation. The best articulation, I think, that of all the figures are the gargoyles. They have awesome articulation. Too bad they just killed that line without telling anyone. See, that's when you overproduce stuff. When it was doing well, you overproduced it, and now it's all just sitting right there. But this thing here, I think anyone that's getting Budo is going to want this. Or maybe if you have Senshi and you're like, hey, you know what? I want my Valivers to fight a predator. You can do that too. So there you go. And look, that is one ugly motherfucker. You almost can't even tell that it is. You almost can't even tell with the mask on that it's supposed to be a predator. It almost looks like an actual samurai in there. Although I don't. Ed, did you see what side his swords are sheathed? Because I don't want the predator to have his sword sheathed on the wrong side. Yeah. Man, the worst thing is we don't even know if they killed the lion. I bet if we asked NECA, they'd say we never killed the lion. We just haven't made one in a while. Like, oh my god. Oh wait. Is this a discussion? Wait, Matthew, is this a discussion? I mean, you still see people take pictures with NECA. Very few people actually do pictures with McFarlane. I've said that 100 times. But anyway, if you need a samurai predator, NECA is going to give you one. Here's everything that he comes with: the extra head, a sword, a couple different staffs, and at different lengths. So this is one that I'm probably going to pick because I just think this is awesome. I just think that this looks really awesome. So, and I think most people tend to agree on that. So, all right. Let's stop that screen, get rid of that. And yeah, Tony's Fix says McFarlane is awesome. Yeah, and it's not. You're able to customize to make the figures that you want, but let's be honest. I have a feeling that Mattel is going to kill it with the figures they give, and you're going to see so much more toy photography with DC when they get to have their DC license, because they make better figures. You go look at the Masterverse figures; they are better than McFarlane figures. So anyway, I have one Predator, and I don't have any issues with any of his stats or anything. So I'm not saying none of them could be, but I only have one. I don't have any issues with it. I don't have any issues with the gargoyle stuff that I have. That's clearly the most NECA stuff that I have. It'd be nice to have more gargoyles. But yeah, Quip says, I give McFarlane a lot of grace because he keeps prices low for so long, but his character selection sure does leave a lot to be desired. You just like Jokerized stuff, let's be honest. No, Todd said a long time ago, I'd rather make 100 figures and make $2 off of them. I'm just using this rather than make 10 figures and make $10 off each of them. It's nice that he does that, but eventually you're like, for the love of fucking God, like, right? Like, who asked for this? But I'll go back to when you go to Target, that's where you see them always. They're always being cycled out, man. So someone's buying them, and not just Tony. I'll tell you what, though, if you go look at Tony's like Tony's pictures on Instagram, he gets crazy views on them, like crazy likes and stuff. Because I think there's a very small section of people that are collectors that are collecting this, but they're very very loyal. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know if they're loyal to DC or to Todd, because I mean, are they all gonna collect Spawn? Are they all gonna go with what's the other line that he does? 40K. What is that? We Are Hammer. I can't think of it. Matthew says, I think his character selection is awesome. He wants to make everything. Yes, he wants to make everything Jokerized. Hi, it's me says, I have to disagree that Masterverse are better than McFarlane. Only the new Eternia. Otherwise, they are not great in a lot of areas. Okay, but the difference is from where Masterverse started to where they are now, they have evolved. Would we all agree with that? McFarlane, how much are they really evolving? Dude, I watched an interview with Shardamus like last year where Shardamus brought up pinless joints, and the guy acted fucking dumb, like, oh, I don't know, pinless joints. What is that? Like, could you send me a picture and I could send it over to my developers? Maybe they can look into this crazy technology you're talking about. Like, dude, you go anywhere and you see pinless joints, right? And again, we're not even saying make all of them pinless, just start, right? So anyway, we have Krusty Old Crow jumping in here saying, hey to the hey punk, and hey to the chat. Krusty, aren't you on vacation? Aren't you like camping right now? I know you were supposed to go, and again, if you are, I hope you're having fun with your son and your dad. That was actually pretty cool to see 3 generations of Krusty Old Crow. Although your son, he doesn't look like you guys. If anyone has Crow, you'll probably know why I'm saying that. Anyway, hope you're having fun, or hope you had fun this weekend. I don't know if you're still out there camping or not. Quip says McFarlane figures are some of the few toys you consistently see on the shelves. I agree. The availability is always good. Better than never seeing anything in person and having to go aftermarket. I agree. Again, like, someone is buying it, or else they'd all be the same thing. I go back to the Origins line when everyone said, "Oh my God, it's always He-Man and Skeletor," when there wasn't that much else on there. No one's ever buying them. But I would go to that's when I was collecting and I was hunting all the time. And the fact is, every time I go to the Walmart, actually, until Target got them, but every time you went there, there was like there'd be like 5 Skeletors and 4 He-Man. And then you'd go there the next day, there'd be like 2 Skeletors and 3 He-Man. Then you went back there and there's like 10 He-Man, and like they were constantly restocking and constantly selling. So those were constantly going out. But yeah. And Crow saying, I returned to thanks. It was great. I'm glad you had a good time. Matthew saying McFarlane heads are 1/12 on 1/10 bodies. I know I've used some of the head sculpts on Mafex or 1/12 figures. But that's not always true. Because sometimes you don't even know what scale he's really at. Hi, it's me says swivel waist, garbage, not impressed with Mode 2. Okay. I'm not comparing it to a classified. I'm comparing it to McFarlane. All right. There is no one that said, "Oh my God, did you see the amazing articulation on this McFarlane figure?" Although I think he does the wrist right. He does the wrist really good. You can, you don't have to have it just go one way. That I do like, so I will give him that. All right. Whew. A little 4 Horsemen, and when this was sent over to me in another group chat, it was sent over actually by M.A.S.K. Toy Optics. And the first thing I said is, like, not interested at all. But the more I look at them, the more I'm actually intrigued by these now. These seem to be more like Cosmic Legions. This is a whole new line. Infinite Legions, I believe. Tell me if I'm wrong. I've already told you guys exactly, how I do things here. Where is it?
I don't go through all the graphics before the show.
But I gotta say, the more and more I look at these, the more and more I look at this blue one, the more and more I see Samus. The big arm cannon, kind of like a mix of Samus and Mega Man. So I looked at these and I was like, not interested. But the more and more I see them, the more I'm like, I just kind of like these. They actually do look pretty damn cool. The color schemes are good. Again, I think these are more of a Cosmic Legions that will fit in there. So, but yeah, just not. I can't see myself going all in on this. I still think that Mythic Legions or 4 Horsemen are making the best, fantasy guys when it comes to like old time and swords and sorcerers, and there are some with better articulation, but again, no one's doing better sculpts than them. But anyway, yeah, man, going back to McFarlane, yeah, sometimes he doesn't know scale. No, he doesn't. Ask Tony about having to fix how tall a Wonder Woman is compared to everyone else. And here we have Airborne Customs jumping in here. I cannot wait to see you again. This guy knows a lot. So if you know who he is, I'm just gonna say this: if you know who Airborne Customs is on Facebook and you're in a GI Joe group and you try and say something, he corrects you, you may want to listen to him. I'm just gonna leave it there. Oh wait, Ed says these are part of the Glios, which are 4-inch figures. These are made as a homage, but also on small build system. Okay, so once again, the 4-inch figures. I threw it in here. What do I have to say about?
I don't go through all the graphics before the show.
Can someone put in like a toy graphic on that instead of that bike? But yeah, these are cool. Again, I wasn't real interested. The more I look at them, the more I'm kind of like, I kind of like these. I kind of like these a little bit more. I can't see myself going down too deep of the line, but again, take the helmet off, and I get that Mega Man feel. I get that Samus feel from Metroid. That I think would be awesome. Hey, look at this. The biggest McFarlane show I know. McFarlane scale kills me. But Tony loves it because every time he drops a custom McFarlane, people go nuts and ask him questions. And Tony's all about, look at me, 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 me. So he loves when people ask him questions. Also, if you ever see Tony do a custom on Instagram, ask him what the recipe is. He loves when people ask what the recipe is because he loves to let people know. Because he's always like, please let me know. Please ask. I will let you know. Don't read the headline, but ask me. Just ask before you read the head. Just ask. But yeah, these are pretty cool. Again, I'm happy. Airborne Custom says the little translucent pink piece fits on the smaller 1,000 toys. I don't know what the hell that is. I know you always share, but you love when people ask you before they even read what you post. What's the recipe? Tell me what the recipe is. And I also think with big feet like this, guess what? You don't need stands. I'm sorry, you don't need stands anyway. So there you go. This is going to be their, I don't know, Glyso. I don't know. I tried watching when they were talking about this, their legacy stuff. I tried watching the 4 Horsemen stream. Dude, talk about fucking boring me to goddamn death. All right. Like it was like an hour and a half of like, holy shit, just give me pictures. Okay. Because you guys, not very interesting to watch. I know the cabal is probably coming after me right now. They probably got their pitchforks and all that other stuff. Because they will come after you. Well, we're still talking about Todd. It's kind of funny since Todd is a great comic artist and comic art scale is often forced and wonky, but lots great. I still laugh at a lot of the stuff from McFarlane Toys because, that was the big thing with McFarlane when he started Todd's Toys. The sculpts were better than anything. No articulation, so he hasn't broken that, but his sculpts were amazing. And I guess if you go back and look at it, he was doing a scale even then that no one else was really doing. It didn't fit with GI Joe. It didn't fit with 4-inch figures. It was, I think, like a 5-inch figure. It didn't fit with Masters. So again, their sculpts were always good. And now he's knocking, like most of these sculpts right now, like knocking it out of the park as he's about to lose the license. Because that's Uncle Todd. That guy is going to be putting out Batman and like saying it's like Spawn Man or something. GI Jetman jumping in and saying, "What's up, punk in chat?" Woo! Look at this. Chaz the Guru jumping in here. Bored? Now you know how we feel. Who said? Did I say bored? I don't think I said that. Yeah, Random said, yeah, those early Spawn figures were mind-blowing at the time. I still have my original Spawn right over there. And I have the hamburger head one in a package. It's not worth anything, but I'm scared to open it up because it's in that that plastic shield that literally slices up your hands. And at this age, I don't know. I might take off a finger. All right. So a couple things dropped today from the loyal subjects. Unfortunately, they're not dancing. There will be no dancing. I feel like I was the only one that pointed out and noticed that they looked like they were dancing. I feel like I was the only one that was like, oh my God, look, they're dancing. So anyway, M.A.S.K is showing off. And I think this is really cool. I really do. They have blast effects or some sort of effects for all kinds of things. And I think what's really cool about this is they're doing it with the masks, which are completely different. So they're giving, instead of having a plug-in, they're just giving you a separate mask. And I was listening to the Full Force a little bit when I was talking to Patrick Stewart, and he was saying that I think those helmets are homages to the original or the secondary helmets that came with it later on when they had to make them a little bit bigger. So it looks like they're doing both versions of the helmets that I showed off last week. Not showing off. But anyway, here we have these blast effects. So we got smoke along with a rocket shooting here for Switchblade. Then we get the big ram cycle along with the blast effects for Rhino. Am I getting these right? I think I'm getting these right. I'm really contemplating getting these when they come out. I know they're BBTS exclusives to start. Rhino is like $100. And Switchblade I think is 75. But I like them. I really like what they're doing. I really do like what they're doing. So, Crimson Cobra Commander says, imagine M.A.S.K in 1/12 scale. They would be super cool, but way expensive. No, again, everybody says they want something until they see the price and the size. I am surprised that Joe vehicles are still going as strong, but I'll say it again. I don't think M.A.S.K is as popular as people want it to be. GI Joe, everyone knew GI Joe as a kid. Everyone knew Motu. Obviously, everyone knows Transformers and Star Wars, but M.A.S.K is very niche still. I think they could do some figures. I think they should do some figures in classified scale for the classified line. I think that would be awesome. But I don't think that they should try and go all in on it. I think that would be a complete cluster. Maybe do a HasLab if they do a GI Joe, a M.A.S.K crossover, and they think that they can justify it. Kuda's Garage jumping in and saying, just thinking about the early Spawn packaging makes the scars on my hands hurt. I'm so glad that I'm not the only one. I'm so glad I'm not the only one that when I brought that up, that was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Because they still make packaging like that. Like your oxygen sensors, your O2 sensors, or carbon monoxide detectors. Like they are still packaged, and I don't care how you cut it out, man. It sucks. So, Radnam wants 1/6 mass, and Chaz is saying mass sucks dongs. And Chaz is the guy that collects everything. So, we got another toe hitch here, along with the guy that's in his in the back there. That seems like very dangerous. I hope he doesn't try and back up into a trailer because he'll get crushed. Sherlock says just make them pause exclusives and they'll sell out every time. Yes, because that's what we need. That's what I want to hear. More people bitching about pause exclusives selling out. And we have Graf jumping in here saying seems like a good idea and maybe one bad guy vehicle for balance. He's talking to Nolan. I didn't see what Nolan had to say. He said, I think the Rhino will be the only one I'll get. Must have something else too. Again, I'm interested. I really am. I'm really interested in these. Where do I put them? What am I going to do with them? I don't know. I think, in all honesty, I think 1/12 scale is crazy. I understand what they're doing with this. I think that these are ideal for 1/18 scale. You already have a whole GI Joe line. They're meant to go with GI Joe, or they've been meant to go with GI Joe in many ways. I think that would be great. We've already seen how well the Transformers can do. They don't always do that well. The Transformer GI Joe crossover. So, and then we have the blast effects for Switchblade. Did I get there? No, not Switch. What the hell is this one? I can't think of Matt Tracker's vehicle. But anyway, here we have the Batman exhaust, so he can fly through the air in his Camaro. I'll say again, I think that they should have done Thunderhawk. Thank you very much, Tony. I will say I do think that they should have done newer vehicles or new characters and mix them in there. But that's just one of those things that, you never know. Chaz says, I came here to talk classified. I left the LA riots for this. And Just Jeff said, I came back and we're talking about M.A.S.K. Well, and you are, again, and this, again, if they were going to redo almost scale the original, which I thought was a mistake to do them all, this is the way to do it. Give stuff new. The helmets are different. The effects are new. They really add to it. So now this here, I'm wondering, how does this one fit in there? Because that has to clamp on, because I don't know how that monstrosity fits onto it, but that is there if you're going to want it. And then I guess they're going to have maybe, because I don't see any special effects here or any effects, but it looks like maybe there's supposed to be some that plug into this. If you're seeing him, please let me know, because I don't see it. And then we get a little blast effect for the front gun of. Did I have this one? I had one of the motorcycles. I think I had the red one, which I don't remember the name of it. But anyway, I do think this is the right way to do it. You're gonna recreate them. You're gonna add to them rather than just do a complete remake of everything. Kind of like what Power of the Force did when they came back. Remember the Power of the Force when they came back? They put a lot of electronics into a lot of those vehicles that they didn't have before, which I thought was actually pretty cool. And then obviously they kept some of them, like the Millennium Falcon, which I wish I would have kept. God, I wish I would have kept some of that Power of the Force stuff. That check engine light is definitely blinking. But no woman has seen it yet. But anyway, that's the M.A.S.K. Again, I'm thinking more and more about it, but I'm also looking around going, where the hell am I going to put the stuff? And again, that's not something I would see myself doing a lot of photography with, because it doesn't scale with everything else. Anything 1/12 scale, I can fudge and like a Predator, which is built off 1/10. This is built off 7-inch. Who cares if Predator is bigger than other figures? It doesn't matter to me, right? So, but I do kind of want them because that stuff is actually pretty damn cool. All right. And now a little Jada. Only a couple of things. These are San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. Some people are really excited about it. I've also seen people crying about it. Like, for the love of God, maybe it's time to change your name to Crybaby. But Jada is dropping these figures that are supposed to be like when special moves are done. they're kind of changing color and everything. Now, there's blue and then there is red. So the red is the flame effect. I don't remember these. I'll be 100% honest. I've kind of talked about how I feel about Jada Street Fighter. I did not like Street Fighter the game. I knew about it. Viper Scout, they do. People cry about exclusive. They do. I mean, I know this is new to you. I think you're new to collecting. But yes, they do. All right. So what you're gonna get here is another bison. It looks like. Are they given extra heads? Are they given extra facial like heads for red bison? So this is a green one with 3 different head sculpts, a bunch of different effects, and then he comes with this blue. So when he does some sort of his special effect or his special move, he gets kind of destroyed. Now, again, I don't know how much these are going to be. Jada is going up in price if people haven't noticed. That Vega, I don't think Vega is supposed to be that much bigger. He went up to $30. So I don't know if they're all going up to 30 or what. But again, I think this looks really good. Again, the green, I'm not a big green guy. I mean, I have 2 other bisons already, but one is actually used for, Chester Cheetah. All right, so Quip says they are all going up to $30. Okay. So, and again, if you notice on BBTS, the bigger figures, Bison and Sagat are 35. So they have raised their prices. So, and then people are eventually going to have to stop saying that these are great deals because guess what? They don't give you all that much. I know it's probably going to make some people mad, but they do give you more than Marvel Legends. Skunkworks jumping in here. Great to see you. So, and then we have Dasim. Everyone knows how I feel about this creepy ass guy with the long limbs. Just creep me out. They creep the shit out of me. But I don't remember him in this color as a player 2. It looks like he's going to get a second head sculpt, so you can use on your So let me know. I mean, is this, is this how it's supposed to be? Matthew says Sagat and Blanca are 35 as the deluxe price or the old deluxe price. Well, they were 30 when they first came out, and then they jumped up $5 because Hella Dope, I think, still has them at 30. And when I originally ordered them from BBTS, they were 30. So I know they changed it. So, yeah, they were like 31 or 32 for me. Yeah, it was a weird price. But anyway, so here's your flame effects. You can see the little stand. I'm assuming that this character here is just what it is, a big solid piece. It doesn't move or anything. So, but yeah, these are pretty cool. I'm sure people are going to be fighting to get them. And again, there's people that are already mad about it because they're exclusives. Well, the whole point is that they are exclusives. And guess what? I don't know at what point in life we all thought we were entitled to get anything we want. It's not the way the world works. If you have the money, you go on eBay and you can get it. But unfortunately, the exclusives have always been there. We just didn't have the internet to know, so we could cry about what we couldn't get. But anyway, if you want it, I don't think these are going to be very hard to get. I don't think any of the other Jada Street Fighter exclusives were that hard to get, were they? I mean, everyone got the ones that they wanted, right? So I don't know why people are complaining about it. And then people were complaining that they're putting this in with that. Let me tell you something about companies. They do that because, hey, we're going to give you Wolverine, but we're also going to give you the Silver Samurai. and we know you're going to buy the Wolverine, you have to pay more to get the Silver Samurai because we want to get Silver Samurai because it's in our fucking contract with fucking Marvel. Just my opinion. That's right. That's what they do. So people stop bitching and whining. I'd say it's beneath you, but it's probably not. It is all about perspective, to be 100% honest. You're absolutely right. It's all about perspective. My perspective is stop being bitches. And then action figure addict Kyle jumping in here. Great to see you. Whew. All right, man, we're going through this pretty quickly. I'm going to take a quick breather, but I'm going to hear a little quick, a little Jada right here.
Idiots! Incompetent buffoons! What is it now, Commander? Consummate morons, incapable of coherent thought! Are you watching that show again? Yes. Why didn't you just watch Pop Blender and Matthew's discussions, news, reviews before the show came out? Whether you agree or disagree, the perspectives provide enough context to know if the show or movie is worth your time or not. Yes, I know. I will not miss another Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on Pop Blender's channel. Be more than once a man by watching Pop Blender and Matthew talk about pop culture news discussions and reviews on Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. And now you know. Televiper, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe so we do not miss another episode, and hit that bell notification.
And Menhoza, let me just tell you something. Do as I say, not as I do. Yes, believe me. I know the irony of it. I believe me, I fully understand the irony of it. I think it's just funny after a while. So anyway, we got some GI Joe to talk about. I know all this stuff went up on Wednesday. I didn't get to talk about it. That's not exactly true. I did with the Circle of Jerks on our special missions, but let's talk a little GI Joe and everything that we're going to be getting, or that they kind of showed off. God knows they're doing another live stream on, when is it? This Wednesday. So we're going to get another special edition Circle of Jerks because you guys love it. It pisses some people off that we do it. Oh, well, I don't lose any sleep. Pop Blender jumping in here. Member for 18 months. So you know what you're going to get.
Fucking Phil Collins.
Hi, says, I like G.I. Joe. So anyway, I'm looking forward to this. I think it is cool what they're doing. They are actually leaning into being Yojo June. Last year, I feel like they didn't. The year before, I believe they did like a stream like every single week. I don't believe they did a stream every single week. Now, I don't know if it's a live stream or not, but the fact of the matter is, they are doing it right now. So I'm actually really happy, and it gives us more content. I love doing stuff with the Circle of Jerks. I have so much fun on that show. If you're not watching it, you need to be watching it, and I think you'll have a blast watching us. We're not professionals. That's how our show should start. We are not professionals. Johnny Reno coming in with a fucking Phil Collins.
Fucking Phil Collins.
And
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Pop Blender with the $5 super chat saying, just dropping this off for rent. I'd have a commercial for you, but I had a root canal on Friday. You get an excuse. Now, if you were only doing AI, like my moderator's partner, who does 15-minute intro songs, but can't come up with some sort of weird, but then again, you know what? I'm still waiting on my Hexastack. So what will I get first? A commercial or my Hexastack? Or neither. The world may never know. Anyway, I think it is cool. Yes, we are professional ball jerks. That's Skunkworks says the MMS was nice. I'm not a classified guy, but it was really nice. It is weird. Skunk, tell me, how can you compliment something when it's something that you don't like? That is a crazy concept right there, that you could look at something and be like, you know what? I don't collect this scale, but that looks really good. This is an amazing concept. You should do a live stream and just and make a paid programming so you can teach people. Action figure addict here for a member for 3 months, so you get a
Fucking Phil Collins.
So anyway, I like what they're leaning into. They're going to do one every week, and then leading up to the final week, we're going to get the HasLab. Now, I know we were told that we weren't going to get a HasLab not till 2026. I believe what he really meant was you won't get the HasLab till 2026. But then that doesn't work either, because we're getting the Rattler yeah. Well, anyway, we're getting a HasLab. It looks like it's probably going to be the Snowcat, and we'll talk about that later on. We got Matt O'Brien jumping in, member for 22 months.
Fucking Phil Collins.
And remember, there will be a live stream for channel members only. Punk's Pit will happen this Friday. So anyway, I have no idea. I don't think anything is dropped today. They are being way more tight-lipped about things than they have in the past, which I think is pretty good. I think we all love leaks, but I kind of would rather not have leaks, to be 100% honest. All right, so the first thing is we saw this vest that was kind of dropped off, and it looks like it is it looks like it's probably going to go with one of the name-only reveals. So this is all that I saw. Now, I'm not sure, but that vest that the tape measure is in front of, that almost looks like it is smaller than the other. Maybe it's just the camera angle, but it almost looks like maybe that's supposed to go to a female. But I believe this is to the Steel Corps. You can call it Steel Brigade if you want. Just remember, that's what it actually is a Steel Brigade. But yeah, so is this new? I don't know, because I really don't break down looking at the Steel Corps figures and stuff. Matthew says new female Steel Brigade. Okay. But yeah, must be Mercer's. All right. So we got some the name only reveals, and the first one is some sort of Steel Corps Vector booth. I don't remember what the fuck it was. It was really long and hard. I think all it is going to be a repaint of this. Maybe give us some different weapons. Paint the sandbags a little bit different. The fact of the matter is, this is going to be different because they have to reuse this. So, Steel Corps Sentry, thank you very much. Toy Bounty Hunter says the dark green ones look like Beachhead's overlay, so thinking that's for the Night Force Beachhead we saw a few weeks back. What Beachhead? The original Beachhead? Hold on, now I gotta go look at it really quick. Oh yeah, I guess those are Beachheads stick magazines. Didn't realize that. Yeah. After a while, I'm done trying to figure out mix and match. You can ask Tony and those guys. They will tell you what's what and what part gets used. Johnny Reno's great with that. I don't even care anymore. There's so many fucking parts. I'm not even going to get into that. Unboxing are jumping in here saying, just hate how Alley Vipers look so great, but are one of the worst army builders. Why do you say that? Why do you say they're one of the worst army builders? Unless you're talking about the original ones with the really bad, the shin guards that make them hard to stand. That I will give you. But I have no problem army building them. I have like 4 of them. Anyway, so I think this Steel Core Sentry and Bunker, whatever it is, yeah. But why do you say that it's a bad army builder? I'm just wondering why you say it's one of the worst army builders. But yeah, so I think this is what the Steel Sentry is going to be. They have to repaint this. They have to reuse. I know people are saying you don't have to, but they do. This is how you increase your budget. If people don't want to spend $200 on everything and $75 on every figure, this is the way they increase their budget. So again, I don't think the articulation is bad on them other than the original shins, because those shin guards, I don't even hate the shin guards, but they really do stop him from moving forward, so they are harder to stand. I am going to give you that 100%. But I don't have an issue with everything else and how they pose. But, to each their own. But I will give you the shin guards. They really fucking piss me off. So anyway, I think this is what we're going to get. They pose well. I just don't think that they stand well because of that. You have to get them. You have to get them in the right position. And sometimes those legs don't look right. Roman is sitting over there. I just don't want to call him over because then he might want to do other things. But anyway, so I think this is what we're gonna get. They have to repurpose this. We fully understand. I don't know why everyone hates this so much. It is modular. You can stack them on top of each other. I understand it kind of looks like an outhouse or a porta potty. Whatever. I would love to say I have one in hand. I don't. But I can go watch Bobby B's review of it and see and remind myself what it actually looks like. You also can't look this up on Pulse because, yeah, it's not there. I ordered 2. I ordered 2. And I didn't remember ordering 2, but I did. As I've been saying, if you buy one of everything, you're eventually starting to army build. But I understand what you're saying. Johnny says, are they limited to 3 and sold out? How can you build anything? Well, if you go back and reorder it, it allows you to. Oh, look, Baldy Fox review showing here. Stop shilling for reuse. Hey, wait till tomorrow. I'm gonna show like crazy tomorrow and Wednesday. Killer King jumping in here. So did anyone get the Hasbro shipping notice for this? Or are they splitting my pre-orders and I'm only getting heavy duty this week? You're only getting heavy duty. These have not started shipping because I have not got hit at all with it. So, but the heavy duty is definitely going out there for sure. All right, and then we got this guy, Desert Scorpion. I do have this guy. Thank you to Johnny Reno. I was like, I feel like I have this guy, and sure enough, Johnny Reno sent it. I do not have a giant scorpion, which I'm okay with. I don't have any of his accessories. Now, this was after my time, but there was somebody that I had talked to a while back when that whole Desert Snake Eyes came out, and they said that they're going to be leaning really hard into desert. They never did. So maybe they just put that stuff on the back burner, and we're going to start to see desert stuff. Maybe desert stuff's coming out at the same time that the snow stuff is gonna, all the Arctic stuff is. So this is another name only reveal again. They're gonna give us so many figures. I know a lot of people think they're close to being done. Man, they're not even close to it. Dominic Johnson jumping in here saying, "Blue is your color, Punk. You look like a friend with toys." Well, I'm glad, Dominic. Thank you very much. And then we have Jeremy Kimberlin jumping in here saying, "Desert Scorpion, he's sweet." I do hope this. This is what I'm gonna say. I hope that they do figure out a way to put soft goods. I don't think they're going to, but find a way to put soft goods on the back there, the same way they should have done with Dusty. I'm not one that wants to like complain about everything, but that Dusty's helmet really needed to be soft goods because it really keeps him from moving properly the way people want it to. That helmet falls off real easy. Now, again, if you don't know this, you put the one set of goggles on backwards and it holds the helmet on. So if you're one of those people that don't know that about Dusty, that's what you need to do. All right. Well, again, they did it with Dusty. They won't. It doesn't mean they won't. They more than likely won't. But there's a lot of things that they've started to change. You know, their budget is higher now. I mean, I don't think that they will, but I'm not saying that they won't. They just probably won't. All right. As for the digital reveals, they went back to showing off the All Striker. It doesn't look like they've changed anything on it. This time, this is stuff that I had already known. Everyone kind of talked about it, but Lenny never confirmed it. The back roll cage and seat does come off, so it can look more like a classic All Striker. Now, I know a lot of people have an issue that the tires are different sizes. In actuality, the tires probably should be like about the size of the small ones for the real dune buggies. But a lot of these dune buggies do have bigger tires in the back. It does have a working suspension. It is not tied to the steering wheel. Again, I like the idea of a working suspension for pictures, but if you want to roll it down a hill and race them, like I got to do with my Stinger and Vamp, it sucks because it's not going to work. But they have bazookas on the top. You know, they're starting to lean into these coffee mugs. Again, total world building, which I absolutely love. Again, I'm excited for this. I always liked the All Striker. I'm not even. I can't say I liked it more than the Vamp. I don't think I ever liked one more than the other one. Other than I like the suspension. I love the suspension on the All Striker. I thought that was really cool. But yeah. Wow, where did this come from? Punk's a dick. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just wondering where that came from. Yes, and it will tow the MMS. That is one thing they did say, because you know what would have happened? That MMS would have come out and they would have said, well, I couldn't even get a Vamp to tow it, so what's the use of even having this? Although I think when you got the HMS, you only had you had to have the hiss to tow it. So I said, what repaint of the All Striker do you think we'll get? I think the desert. I think the desert one would be awesome. I don't want any eco warrior crap. I know we'll probably get it, but I don't want it. All right. I don't need any of that shit. All right. That stuff is awful. I wouldn't say, I could see Night Force too, considering they already have Night Force. But I think a desert, because like I said, it looks like they may start leaning into desert stuff. Tony says, Tony's face. Punk said, "Fat Tony." It looks like Sherlock. I sent it to Sherlock too. Just don't think that I won't say it to someone. I don't think Sherlock is fat. I just thought Fat Tony looked like Sherlock. All right. So this is part of the legacy. Okay. I'm just gonna say this right now to all the people to all the people that sit there and say, you know what? I don't know why GI Joe is doing this. They shouldn't do this. This isn't what GI Joe is. Fuck you. You're just showing you don't know anything about GI Joe, and that's fine. But don't act like you know all this shit, because this is shit that the GI Joe brand has done for years and years and years. Ed, do you want to back me up on this? I'm sure if Skunk is still in here, he'll back me up on this. They've done shit like this, right? And this is fucking genius. All right. First off, this is not some military police officer. This is not some sci-fi police officer. This is not some GI. This is a police officer that, if you take off that vest, he probably has a regular police officer uniform. Here he has his riot shield. He's a SWAT officer. You got the helmet. You got two different colors. This can be used with your Marvel Legends. It can be used with your Operation Monster Force. It can be used with GI Joe. It can be used with Valaverse. It can be used with anything that is 1/12 scale that you just want a police force. Again, it's smart to do with the firefighters, but you don't normally use as many firefighters as you're going to use with police officers. And the fact is, I think this is genius. And I think that there's going to be, people from all the lines are going to want this to fit into their stuff. This is awesome. Will R jumping in here saying this is awesome. I agree. T-Step says now we need NWA figures. That's pretty funny. Yeah, look, Matthew. Ed saying Adventure Team. This means Cobra Shock Troopers. Yeah, I can see that. Again, yeah, Airborne Customs. The 12-inch line definitely did this. And people that are like saying that they've never done anything like this, again, like, it's okay to be wrong, but GI Joe has done this. Again, this isn't. Everyone thinks that Classified is just a reimagination of a real American hero in 6-inch form. It's not true. Not true at all. It's completely different. Smog17 jumping in here saying, "What's up here?" Again, I think that these are awesome, and they're gonna. I think these things are gonna sell like crazy. People want a whole police force. This is just primed to have a female officer too. That'd be stupid not to have it. And again, these are going to be sitting at Target or Walmart or wherever, and you're going to have some kid walking by, and his dad was a cop, or a cop that's walking by, and he sees this, and he just wants to have this. Or even adult, right? That, hey, my dad was a cop. My grandfather was, This is what is awesome. This is going to add to their budget. So anyway, I called this a while back because on Helix's art, in the back, you see a SWAT vehicle. And I would have thought nothing about it other than we saw a polar bear and we laughed and said, we're not getting a polar bear. They gave us a polar bear. We saw a downed rattler. They're not giving us a rattler. They gave us a rattler. They keep throwing Easter eggs in the back of this artwork. So when you see things, you can probably guess we got that firefighter. They were going to give us the police officer, right? It only makes sense. Now, the weaponry, I don't know. You have shotguns. Now, I love this automatic shotgun. I do. I just don't think that you should have given it to a police officer. You have other shotguns you could have gone with, or the M16. It's pretty simple. The riot shield, if I remember correctly, they showed the riot shield, and I believe it's on the wrong arm again. Did I see that right? Because I thought they showed the inside, and I'm like, it's on the wrong arm again. But yeah, so and the microphone is able to be to be moved, and you can actually radio in. So I'm happy with this. I think this is actually pretty cool. It also does come with a little mug or a little coffee cup here. So, Skunk says the poncho looks odd to me. That's because the poncho is it's a repaint of the military poncho. That where it says police, that is actually a little pocket. If I'm correct, someone can correct me, but I'm pretty sure that's the same one. And we have Medic 1849 jumping here saying need a paramedic. I think, you know what? I think it's coming. I don't see how we don't get doctors and paramedics, all the first responders. And then we got, which was one of the worst kept secrets, Sarge and Mercer. Now they are really going to lean in heavy. They probably spent a lot of money for the rights to use him. That's why they have the Triple T Transformer with the O-ring. This is now the third Sergeant Slaughter. Put him in a 2-pack. At least they made him look different. They gave him a new head sculpt. Tony suggested give him a whistle. I think it is genius. Now, will this head sculpt fit on the other Sarges? Probably not, because they changed the neck peg. Hopefully they do, because who really wants to Dremel it out if they don't need to? They went with giving him a big 6-shooter, which is what Valiverse did. I really wish they wouldn't have. I don't really see him. They gave him Leathernecks M4 203. And then you get Mercer. Let's talk about Mercer, because people are going to be really, really mad about this. Hi, it's me, says Baby Mercer. Except for, I hope he's in here, Plastic Battles. And I should have thrown the pictures in, and I did not. Plastic Battles took screenshots and also pics from the comic and put a line across it. Mercer is not supposed to be that big in the cartoon, contrary to what everyone thinks. But he's not supposed to be that big. And that's the reason why. So, Airborne Customs here. Mercer is the same height or slightly taller than classified Falcon figure. And Sarge is also built on the very, very large buck. And look, there he is. Plastic Battles right here. He posted a whole bunch of pictures. I screenshotted them and I threw them on the classified where someone was whining and crying about it. Oddly enough, they didn't challenge me, because Plastic Battles put a perfect line across every single one of them to show exactly how tall he is. But let's get away from that, and we'll talk about the actual figure. So he was a former Viper, so they really led into that. The Viper legs he has, and all new vest, it looks like. Has one of the gauntlets. The other one is completely bare. Luckily, they're the same color. He has the same eyeglasses that Larry Neck has. But if you notice, 4 new weapons here. So I heard somebody discussing the Vector, saying that it looks like someone else's gun. It's a fucking Chris Vector. All right? I mean, it's not kind of looks like a Chris Vector. It's a fucking Vector. You can't not see it. You have the one right above it, which is the grenade launcher, which is crazy. The other 2 weapons, I don't know what they are. All right, one is a bullpup because it has the magazine behind it. It's completely new. And then I don't know what the laser weapon, at least it looks like a laser weapon down. A matter of fact, I take that back. That lower weapon in red, I want to say Mark to Toys did something like that. And he said it's a realistic weapon. It looks very similar. I have it put away because I hate it so much. But I'm going to have to look into that. So, Graph saying, what's your Vector, Victor? I love the airplane. Airplane is so fucking good. Beckley says, do we know yet if Mercer's vest is removable or sculpted? No, that's removable, right? Because we saw that. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? I believe that we saw that vest a while back. So I believe that it is. You'd have to cut it off because they don't make anything easy. So you'd have to cut it off, but I do believe that it is removable. Everyone custom saying it is removable. Skunk says, anyone else tired of seeing vectors? This like, well, the only other vector that Hasbro has done was with the they did a version of it with the HISS team, with all the HISS drivers. All right, give me a second here. I gotta yell, so I gotta play something because this dog is going crazy right now because now he wants to go out. So quickly.
Oh, hey guys, what's going on? Moss Man, what are you doing back here? Oh, you see, so Skeletor, he had to go to the grocery store. He had to go buy more barbecue Pringle chips. And so he's put me in charge here for a little bit. In charge of y'all. He said, man, Moss Man, I have to go to the grocery store, so I need to put you in charge of Snake Mountain. Ha 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 ha. Yes, that's Skeletor. That's Skeletor. Right. Skeletor said since I was in charge, I could use the credit card and maybe go online and buy some action figures for myself.
Oh, some action figures sound kind of nice.
Yes. Maybe we can go to Big Ben. Yeah, Beastman, we don't say that around here. We go to HellDopeToys.com. They have the best prices in town, and they ship everything in one business day. One business day, Beastman. That means I buy it, and it comes to my house super fast, and they pack it all real nice. So when I go to do my YouTube reviews for my 5 subscribers, I'll be like, oh, look at this minty fresh package box that I got from HellDopeToys.com. So what are we waiting for, y'all? Let's go get that credit card and head on over to HellDopeToys.com right now before they run out of all the good stuff.
All right, so I love to see stuff like this. These breaks are great from Skunk Works. You see that, Tony? Someone who respects Moss Man and appreciates these wonderful commercials that Helidope Toys has put together. I also saw somebody asking about Xandar. I cut mine off. I had 2 of them, so I did cut one off. I was actually looking for it while the break was going on. I don't know where I put it. I had it on a figure. I might have actually put it in one of my bins. I don't know if you pop it off, if you can get it, but I just cut it off and then you can put it right back on them. But it does kind of suck that you have to do that. So, but anyway, Sarge Mercer 2-pack. I don't think this is going to go up. I think Matthew said he thinks this might go up. I don't think this is going to go up. I don't think you show a digital render this soon and then show it off like the next week. That would be crazy. But who knows? I don't know what the hell they're doing over there. As long as you keep making some awesome figures for me, I'm happy. Now they showed off the Cold Slither box. This is the only picture that I put because we've already gone over this here. But anyway, Cold Slither. This is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I wish they'd give a price. I don't know why they will not give a price. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I think that they really need to, and I mean for everything, just Hasbro in general, all these companies, like tell us what these exclusive prices are going to be. Because you're either going to buy it or you're not, right? And knowing the price ahead of time makes it so, okay, you know what? You know, I can kind of plan for it. I can figure out if I'm going to make this thing work or not. 19 Chase jumping in saying the weapons are cool. Since I don't have a Sarge, I love the Warthog Sarge. I'll grab this one on sale. I don't think I would not say I wouldn't play. I would not continue to play Clearance Chicken. If you want something, I would say grab it. For one, no way this is 180. I think it's 150. Matthew says 120. I'd prefer 100. Good job, Matthew. I'd always prefer less too. With that said, I thought the snake armor was going to be $100. It was 75. So they are still doing a great job of keeping the prices lower. It should be a little bit less because he doesn't have a fucking microphone. I mean, come on, guys. How do you not have a microphone? Seriously, like, he is singing. You need a microphone. It could not have cost that much. I mean, just like Buzzer needed a seat to sit on. Like, I think everyone's a little aggravated over that. But either way, this will be the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I think this is going to be fairly easy to get, to be 100% honest. But like always, over the years, they have just built this fear into us. So we're always worried we're not going to be able to get it. I wouldn't worry about it too much. But if you know someone at the show, maybe get it that way. Pay for them to ship it. So Chaz says, oh, I hope they give us another digital render of the Allstriker. Well, maybe they'll give us a digital render without the back on it. Matthew says, I wasn't paying more than 80 for the snake armor. Yeah, you were. You bought like 3 of them. Don't tell me you weren't going to pay $100 for it. You were going to. Beckley says, Gridiron will give us the mics. Or you can just go buy like a NECA or McFarlane figure that has it. Hasbro says, Larry, you need to learn to sculpt. A mic would be one of the simplest to make rather than have it made. But yeah, but it goes with it. I'm already going to be overpaying for this. All right. As for the figures that they showed off, we have Slice and Dice. Now, Slice and Dice were on my way out. So I never really got into the whole Ninja Force. I didn't even know if these guys are good guys or bad guys as a kid. I mean, I know now. I do think they did a really good job with the colors. I didn't hear too many critiques of people questioning them. The one thing that they did do was they talked about why there's red and blue in the stuff, and that's so you can swap and make your own ninjas, which I think is a really good idea. These are still available on Pulse. These are the exclusive. So just, know that, hey, these are going to be readily available, hopefully, and they're going to use these over and over and over. They are really going heavy on their ninjas. We have Slap Happy Toys jumping in here saying, I really want it, so I guess I'll see. Yeah. Great to have you here. I know you've never been here, but I know I know you follow me on Instagram. So, and I met you at Joe Fest, so looking forward to seeing you again. But yeah, great to have you. Yeah. I like having ninjas. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not like a whole ninja guy, but it is really cool to have like just this whole ninja army, right? And you can fit the hand ninja in. If you don't have any hand ninjas from Marvel Legends, they are awesome. I've heard people complain about them. I don't know why. They look better than the GI Joe Red Ninja. They don't come with nearly as much, but they look like actual ninjas, especially the red ones. And you could get them at Ollie's for like $10 like crazy a few years ago. But it looks like they're going to have the same articulation. You can get some great detail into them. Now we just need to figure out some backdrop of ninjas. But ninjas aren't real, so it could be any backdrop, right? And they talked about how this hat can go on either one. I look at this and I look at Big Trouble in Little China. I don't think I'm the only one. But you have to just give this GI Joe team and Hasbro in general all the credit in the world. Like, they have the GI Joe line is truly. I mean, for one that's only been around for 5 years, and 5 years is eternity for a line nowadays. They have really progressed the figures from those original ones to now, where I look at Marvel Legends and they are now like, wow, even though we are so much larger than GI Joe Classified, and they are. I don't want to hear anyone complain. I don't want to hear anyone like fight about it. Okay, Marvel Legends is 10 times bigger than GI Joe. It's like they didn't want to do anything, and now they're finally starting to advance and make better bucks and make better molds. They still have that stupid waste. I didn't realize how much that waste annoyed people. So someone pointed out, and I'm like, oh. All right, so this is a creepy picture. I don't understand it. I don't know why they would even like post, like why, like what was the purpose of making this other than to creep people out? But it is very creepy. But yeah. And then here we have, I have a feeling these swords here, these little hook swords, Matthew, do you know what the name of these swords are? I think that this is, I think that they're going to cram these swords down our throats with every single ninja or ninja pack that comes out. And I know that, and some of the modern 4-inch Joes, they use them a lot. So don't be surprised on this. But yeah. Oof. A Toy Kind of Mood jumping in here saying there has never been back-to-back weekly GI Joe fan streams, correct? I know there wasn't last year, but I think 2 years ago there was. I don't know if they were all live, but I think that they did something every single week, either 2 years ago or maybe 3 years ago. The year that I think Flint and Lady J went up, but I'm not positive. I can barely remember what I did earlier today. All right. So here's Baby Sai. These face sculpts do look really good. Like that sculpt is fucking awesome. But yeah, I do think these look good, and I think fighting Storm Shadow, either Storm Shadow, is gonna look awesome. And just so you know, Storm Shadow is a GI Joe. He's not Cobra. Gun Bunny Customs jumping in here saying, "Good evening, all. Just finished work." Well, welcome. Get to working on Stanley's van. So here's everything that they come with, other than the Punk with Toys sticker. A lot of stuff. So I thought about buying a second one of these so you can mix and match, but I'm like, I have so many fucking figures to begin with. And I don't really need that many more ninjas. And they're expensive. Once you start adding up all this stuff, good Lord, it really does start to add up. Big M jumping in here. This set and Budo are like 15 figures. Yeah. So there's the back. I don't see any Easter eggs in this. Usually they're really good with Easter eggs, but I have not seen any. And there's the box. They're really cramming everything into this. And then you have that ugly Ninja Force throwing star. I don't think we're allowed to say Chinese star anymore. And then we get to Budo. I'll take a drink real quick. All right. So we all knew Budo was coming. I saw someone today on one of the Valivers, Legions of Valivers, and he started off making, I think he wanted to go wire to wire from the beginning of the week to the end of the week with the dumbest comment. And that was, we needed Valivers to make Senshi so we could get Budo. They were gonna do Budo. All right. He's one of the main characters. Now, again, he's not an A-list character. He's one of the main characters. All right. To say that Valiverse needed to make a samurai, so Hasbro would, is so stupid because they didn't make a mine detector, right? They didn't make an explosives expert, but they gave us tripwire, and they did two different, made two different versions of them. Hold on. Airborne Custom says there are Easter eggs on that package. Well, what are they? Or just message me so I know. But anyway, this figure is pretty badass. So even without his uniform on, he looks good. This is one that, yeah, I could buy multiple ones. And I probably will because everything that I have ordered multiple times. But he just looks really good. Like he seriously is kicking ass. Now, I do have to say, and I love shooting the galaxy. The fact that he's barely holding on to the sword with the second hand is driving me nuts. Now, Matthew, I put this one in for you, and Ed, I hope you're watching. To sit there and say that samurais don't put their swords sheathed on that side, well, right now we see exactly why. Right? Look at it. He is right-handed, so he shoots with his right hand. He has to pull the sword out with his left. This is the reason why. I feel vindicated. Soul Brother number 1 says, shocking statement. I like Senshi and Budo. Like Samurai Budo better, though, especially the second Hasbro. Again, there's nothing wrong with liking both. If you like the Valiverse, there's nothing wrong with it. All right? Both the fucking Hasbros and the Valishills, they fucking start fucking, they both fucking go in at it. All right? If you like what Valiverse gives you, enjoy it, man. There's nothing wrong. He doesn't make bad fucking figures. He's just a bad fucking person. Did I say that? Sorry. But again, there's no reason to constantly. I think the biggest issue is that everyone knows that Senshi was made because of Budo. All right, he knows the roster already. It's when people try and tell you that that's not what it is. So anyway, I think this shot looks awesome. All right, and here is your classic looking Budo. I think he looks fucking good. Here he's holding his helmet, but I really gotta say, oh shit, I didn't put it in there. I really like the shot where he's actually holding the FAMAS. I think it looks really good. I know normally you think that they're not gonna have guns, but they are in the military. They should have guns. Matt, I don't care. Matthew is the one that says that you cannot put a samurai sword on that side. He is dead set against it. It is wrong. It has never been done. It'll never be done. It is wrong. Hasbro is completely wrong. But again, I think that this looks. I think this looks awesome. They did the same thing they did with Tripwire. They give you options if you bought 2 of them. Now, Tripwire is a lot easier because you buy a blank figure. You can buy a Valiverse blank figure. Or you could buy, now there's so many GI Joe figures that you could find for, $5 or $10. This one, not so much because he's more of a, I guess you could get away with it, but I guess because it's more of a samurai look, it's not going to look nearly as well. Tony's face. A samurai with a pistol is a bad mother. Crimson Cobra Commander says, Matthew, it's a toy. You know what I haven't heard in a while and that I really like?
We're talking about frickin' toys here. They're toys.
But anyway. So anyway, that is Budo. I think it looks good, and they're giving you a lot of stuff. This is a $35 figure. So it's a deluxe figure, but they're giving you options to make multiple style figures if you want. And here's the back. I'm not sure. If you guys know, let me know what the Easter egg is in. I didn't see any Easter eggs, but I've already had it sent to me. But because I'm doing a show, I don't look. But thank you, Airborne Customs. All right. These shots look awesome. Dude, we all knew this was coming. Wait, but Airborne, you just said there's always an Easter. You just said there's always an Easter egg. Now you're saying there's not. All right. Well, I'm not gonna look. Thank you. I think this, dude, these shots are awesome. Shooting the Galaxy, he knocked shit out of the park. We knew this was coming. Now, do they need to fix the blast effects? Yes. Do they already have blast effects that came with the Dragonfly? Yes. So why don't they give these? Now, again, these blast effects are awesome for Scrap Iron, and they are awesome for the bazookas that come with Bazooka and the other figures that have them. But even if the smoke effects were in the right direction, they don't look right because they tail off because you're supposed to plug something into it. Again, I'm never going to use them. I'm just not a fan of them because they just don't look right. But this shot, he made it look awesome because of the angle, the smoke. Again, this looks awesome. I'm such a fan of his. Colonel Hawk comes with a lot, and it's going to be hard to complain about what he comes with. But we'll talk about one issue that people are so mad about that I have to shake my head. And then we have Caress Lupin jumping in. So I bought the Cobra version just for the figure. Dude, that Techno Viper is such a good look. Yeah, I agree. Xander's vest looks really good on here. You can't tell that it's Xander's vest. Xandar. Why do I say Xander? I've been watching way too much Buffy that I'm calling him Xander. Xandar. But again, another good shot. I like the helmet. I like the mic, the way that it's all set up. Again, using Stalker's back here so they can throw that on there. Is that really for a knife right there? I never noticed that's for the knife right there. And then you get the pistol on the back. Now, not a fan of pistols on the back, considering it's going to make him hard to sit down anywhere. So, but yeah, Matt says, I'm with you. I'm with you, Liquid. I just dislike the blast effects other than the Dragonfly. The blast effects of the Dragonfly were perfect for that. A matter of fact, I actually have them, those blast effects. I actually have them on the HMS. That's actually how I have it setting right now. And the missile, believe it or not, the missile effects that I use, or the blast effects for the missiles on the Stinger, are from the Sky Sled from Motu Origins. They fit perfectly. I just had to paint them a little bit to make it work. And then here, his lighting, his running. I mean, but I like the new helmet. Again, it's still fairly the same. He has the visor in the front, but you gotta love the mic on it. I think they did a really good job. they talked about this, that they wanted to de-age him. So they did look at General Hawk, and they said they went with it. They tried to like make the cheekbones a little bit smaller, maybe make the nose a little bit smaller, and then they give him different color hairs. People's hair, blonde's hairs do change. I don't know if it changes that much, but that's what the O-ring was. So they did want him. If you looked at it, you would see an aging progression. So to all the people that were wondering it, I think that's awesome. Tony says that backpack should hold arrows, not a rifle. Why would it hold arrows? It's literally meant to hold. It's literally meant to hold that submachine gun along with the. It's meant to hold this submachine gun, not the XMLR. So, again, you already know what you're going to get with this. If you want it, you're going to get it. We knew it was coming. I like this little detail here. I'm sure someone's going to complain that it doesn't have the computer module that goes with it, so it can't be, the exact same. You have the hydraulics. If you don't know, because you don't have the HMS, they made it so you can lift this up depending on what vehicle is being used. So, like the Hiss is higher, I think, than the Stinger. So this actually moves up and down, so it can be towed by both of them. It's actually pretty smart that they did it, and then they made it look like it has hydraulics, so it's actually going to move it up and down. Now, Todd C says he's thinking about canceling this pre-order. I wonder why. All right. So here's everything that you get with it. A multitude of weapons that we already have. I have lots of these weapons. Thank you. Thank you to Tony. I have lots of these fucking weapons. I have so many of these weapons. The M16, the submachine gun, and the laser. All right. So this was a complaint that I just can't leave. And not that someone made this complaint, but how adamant they were about this. And that was, they put his full name on the front, and this line could have been so good, but they do stuff like this. Okay. 1, you could just remove it. All right. It's not that hard. You could paint over it. You could remove it. 2, the guy made a comment about like, these are special forces. They don't have their full name on it. This line could have been so good, but they ruined it. All right. And I actually did talk to somebody else who's actually in the stream right now, and he agreed that you probably shouldn't have it. Again, people are mad that it has his whole name on it, and this ruins it because these are special forces. But nobody has a problem with a guy with no fucking shoes and a shirt running around that's a fucking karate goddamn expert. This is what ruined the line, that they put Colonel Hawk's whole fucking name across it. This is a special forces, but no one says, hey, look at the fucking white guy with fucking digital camo on, walking around with only swords. Why don't I just shoot him before he gets to me? Oh, wait a minute. And Viper Scout says they realize they have lasers, right? Yeah, don't want to leave that out, right? What about the guy all in black that can't speak? Do they let mute people in the military? I'm just saying. Just like this is what ruined the fucking line, that they put Colonel Hawk's name completely across it. This is where I've drawn the line. You know what? I'm done. I'm done with this line. These are special forces, and they're gonna put his whole fucking name. Airborne says special forces guys do whatever the hell they want with the gear. But yes, it's not normal to have full names on their uniforms. I get it. But again, you know this. They're just trying to make something a little different. I have more of an issue with the guy without fucking shoes or boots on and no fucking shirt that has nunchucks and a fucking sword. Sherlock says, that's it. Line dead. So Hawk died as airplane. The 80s were weird, man. Well, that's the question. Did he dye his hair blonde when he was younger? Or when he got older, he dyed it brown? The world may never know. But yeah, I think it's just it's crazy. It's crazy what people get so fixated on. Now I can understand if you're like, you know what, I think it's pretty stupid for him to have his whole name. Let's be honest. We know in the battlefield you are not supposed to salute your commanding officer because that's the one the sniper is going to go after. So to be like, you know what, it's kind of stupid to have his full name on it. All right, cool. But to say like this line could have been so good, but they keep making mistakes like this. Like, dude, get a little fucking paint and go over it. You'll never fucking know. Matthew says, I had platinum blonde hair up until about 25, then it darkened a lot. I had black hair. I started off with brown hair when I was younger. Then it went black. I mean, it went black to where a girl once asked me if I dye my hair, and I said no. And she told me, she's like, don't fucking lie. And I went, why would I lie? She's like, no one's hair is that black. I'm like, why would I lie about dyeing my hair black? Anyway. So anyway, this is what everyone was waiting for, and we knew it was coming. I think it's awesome. Again, I think it's cool what they did with the Cobra HMS. I don't really need it reused again, but we'll probably get another version of it just because they need to reuse the molds. But we've only seen the Vamp twice now, so who knows when the Mark II's coming. Johnny Reno says Zola dyed his hair blonde when he was younger and shaved. So, all right. And there's the box. We get the All Striker right there because he needs something to tow it because not everyone has the Vamp. Anyway, please hit that like button if you guys have not hit that like button yet. It helps out. We have 114 people watching. That is huge. I know GI Joe, so I know it's GI Joe, so there's people that want to tune in to hear it. All right. Yeah, no, Tiger's thing. I'll be 100% honest. I'm okay with no more Tiger stuff. But yeah, I know. That's why you don't want me creating G.I. Joe and designing it, because I'd only design what I want. All right. Little HasLab talk before we wrap it up. Jeremy Kimberlin asked me to take pictures of this to show the size of the Snowcat, because the hints were it's frosty and what was the other one? It's frosty and there was something else, and then there was snow that came across. And then it pretty much hinted at that it was the Snowcat. Now, I said this from a long time ago. I do think that, you are kind of gambling with it. This is very iconic. There's no doubt about that at all. This is very iconic. But there's a lot of people that have never seen snow before. And but then again, there's people like this guy, I don't know, he may never have not seen snow living up in the great up north there. 44D2 saying MMS should have had redesigned missiles and correct blast effects. My 2 cents. I have no problems with the missiles. The blast effects, all they need to do was use the Dragonfly missile or blast effects. Those are perfectly fine. That's what I have on mine. I have no issues with the missiles. I think the missiles actually are pretty spot on for what they're supposed to be. So anyway, Jeremy Kimberlin asked me if I could do a side-by-side shot. I don't know how he knew that I had these. I don't know. But I said, yeah, okay, no problem. I'll do it. I think I pointed out a long time ago that the Hiss is not as big as many people think that it is. It's actually a mid-sized vehicle, but people think of it as a tank, so they think that it's a little bit bigger. It's really not. They scaled it up as on the classified to fit a classified figure in the back, and not just fit a figure in there and just like throw him in there, but so he can actually sit with this turret on it. A turret that does go up and down. Crazy. So when they announced this, people was that's too small. Well, again, maybe because they've done the Dragonfly, and the Rattler, and they're so long and wide. True, but they also don't hold as many characters as this does. Again, I think that they have a perfect chance to raise it up so you can put at least one figure in the back and just flatten that top so you have that missile rack that goes on the top. I also think you need to put some guns on it because this thing never had any guns and it really does bother me. Johnny says Sunbow Hiss is bigger than the original toy represented. Yeah, but Sunbow's not canon. Sorry. So I took these pictures. You can see it's much wider, and it is a little bit longer. Here they were side by side. Now the Hiss is a little bit higher. I think that you can make the Snowcat a little bit taller. Now, once again, looking at this, yeah, it's a Snowcat, but it doesn't have skis on it. So you could drive it on, it can be put on the regular road. You can do whatever you want. All you have to do is interchange the ski missiles so they have regular missiles. So hopefully they do something like that where however the ski missile goes on, maybe underneath on that missile, it pops off and you can just pop it right on without using the ski. Because I think that would actually be pretty smart. Liquid Identity says removing the missile rack and allowing 4 figures to sit in the back would be awesome. Wish the Vamp did that. So I'm not even saying remove the missile rack. What I am saying is make it a lower profile missile rack, right? Make it a lower profile missile rack and obviously raise it up a little bit. And then you still have the look of the Snowcat. Now, 4 figures, you're kind of pushing it. And the reason why I say that is all those attachments for the ground pounder, for the gridiron, it's hard to fit 4 figures in there. Now, I know they have the new one that's supposed to hold like 6 figures comfortably. I'll believe that when I actually fucking see it. To be 100% honest, I know you can fit them, but comfortably is a whole nother universe, right? Now, again, you're saying that you don't think I need that vehicle. We haven't seen it yet. That changes everything, right? That changes everything, right? Is when you change the way, once we see it, you may feel completely different on it. All right. First, my Snowcat wheel is not broken. I don't know why the passenger wheel looks like it's broken. I think maybe because it's sitting in the crevice of the tile, but it looks like it's broken. I promise you, it is not broken. And I do see that I saw Matthew dropped a link. If you're asking about those computers and the catwalk, that is all made from this guy right here, Radnom, and they are available at Hella Dope Toys. They are $49.99, and if you use my code APWT, you will get 10% off. Go there, buy them, because Radnom, well, he's showing off some of the other stuff that he wants to make. So I want other stuff. And they are for 1/18 scale, just so you know. But the catwalk and the steps. Matter of fact, I got to talk to you right now because I have some ideas that you can make into 1/12 that I don't think will cost you more. Anyway, so here you can see how much wider it is. It does hold two figures. To hold two figures side by side and classified, remember, you can't really just wiggle their shoulders together like you could with these. You got to have a nice, bigger profile. So I am interested to see exactly how they're going to do this. Talib 1980 is joining in here. Hey guys, I dig a Snowcat HasLab. Everything they've done looks awesome. So I don't think that anyone's going to complain when we see it. Other than, hey, you know what? If you don't want it, I fully get it. And then Gladiator Break saying Mobat has to be a HasLab. The only way to finish the OG-13, we have to have the Mobat. Therefore, the next HasLab needs to be me the Mobat. Change my mind. This one is not going to be. I'm going to say that right now. This one is not going to be. To give you the OG-13, they don't have to have all the vehicles. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, and I'm not saying they won't. I do think that one of the issues with doing a Mobat or Mauler HasLab is that you have right now a Ramen who is doing their own tank, I believe, for $250. Now, if they're going to do one, it's probably going to be in the $350 range. You're going to get more stuff in electronics, but people are still going to compare it to Ramen and what their price is. I don't know. I can't really see us getting a Mobat unless if they do the Mobat in a version that is like the Mauler, because it only holds one figure, and you want to make it so you can hold multiple figures, especially for a HasLab. Graf says next HasLab is reserved for an RC Thunder Machine with working siren, then USS Flag, then maybe the Mauler. Well, once you get that flag, then you'll have somewhere to put the Mauler. And again, like, I mean, I think it's confirmed. I don't think there's anyone that is like, oh my God, there's no way this is a Snowcat. I think I think we're all in agreement. Anyone that thinks, I mean, I did hear somebody say, that, so someone said these are the worst hints ever. I'm like, I don't think they're trying to make it hard to guess what it is. Okay, so I have no problem with an armadillo, the mini tank, but Hasbro, please don't try and give us Steeler with an armadillo and try and be like, hey, it is a tank. Like, you're not pulling the wool over anyone's eyes. I think we're gonna get a devilfish. There's no doubt that we'll get a devilfish. It's not gonna be a HasLab, Beckley. Better not be. Again, I really thought we were gonna get something like the Whale. You're coming off the Rattler that did really well. You went up in price. The Whale is something that you would go up in price. I think this here, I can't see this being more than the Rattler, which was $325, and I'm actually thinking that this is probably going to run about $300, probably the same as the Hiss. Due to inflation, they may raise it. I thought the Rattler was actually going to be around $400. So when that came in at $325, I was pleasantly surprised. Then when they took away one figure, I was pleasantly not surprised. Or unpleasantly surprised, shall I say. But here we can see the length of it. And again, these are all, I have these, so maybe just kind of grab them and take pictures of it. That was another one. And if you remember, I did say that I could see them doing the despoiler. They were going heavy into the Iron Grenadiers. So I thought that it was actually going to be perfect for it. Now, I will say this. If Snowcat is a HasLab because of the size, what do you think that the Thunder Machine will be? Because the Thunder Machine is about as long. I don't believe it's as wide. But it's roughly the same width. The wheels just don't stick out as much. And unlike what a lot of people try and say, Lenny never said that the Thunder Machine wouldn't be a HasLab. He said, I don't think that it has to be a HasLab with its size. But he never said that it wouldn't be. People ran with it saying that, oh no, that's what he's gonna, he said that it wouldn't be a HasLab. It doesn't have. No, he said it doesn't have to be. He didn't say that it wouldn't be. Now we're looking at that. Again, we're looking at the Snowcat. Again, whether or not people believe this or not, this is Hasbro's way of making sure that they don't get fucked. Because we've already heard people talk about, hey, I would buy this, I would buy that. No, you wouldn't. You know why I know you wouldn't? And I'm not saying no one would, but I'm saying the majority of the people is because what do? They bitched about the Vamp. I can't get it. It's not available. So what do? They made the Stinger. Everyone get the Stinger. Guess what? There's $70 on Amazon right now. And you know what sold the majority of those Stingers? I'm not saying the majority. You know what sold a lot of those Stingers? The fact that Gridiron was making accessories for them. Now, Shark Guy says, you're all wrong. The next HasLab is going to be a Rizvani Hercules, which is a 6-wheel off-road truck with Pandora's Gang and Zandak's Guzzler, Tipper, and Porch the figure. Oh, jeez. But no, it's I can't. He's lost my train of thought now. Thanks a lot. Toy Bounty Hunter says, I think the Thunder Machine could be a HasLab mainly because of the lights that people would want to actually work. Okay, so Toy Bounty Hunter, I'll be honest, I never even thought about the lights. I said that I think the Thunder Machine is a great HasLab because you take the original. You may have heard me say this before. You take the original Thunder Machine, and here it is. As the tiers, let's say you make a design of a Challenger. So now you can change the front end of it. You have a different jet engine, maybe a Sky Striker jet engine that you can pop in the back. A couple 50 calibers to replace the miniguns. You can make it look completely different. And then you can buy 2 of them and say, hey, you know what? Look, here's a whole nother Thunder Machine. Call it something completely different. It has a Challenger front end. It has a different, it has a Sky Striker engine. Hell, maybe it has a Conquest back engine, right? Something that you're going to change. Then you just got like 50 caliber, like something like that, just to make things and change it up. That's why I think that would be an awesome idea for a HasLab. Not everyone agrees with me. I'm not even saying that I'm saying I have to have it as a HasLab. I'm just saying it kind of makes sense because when you look at the Hiss, they made it so, hey, you want the classic Hiss? We're going to give it to you. But we kind of wanted to update it, right? We gave it the Go Wing. I love the Go Wing, canopy. I think it looks awesome. That's the one that I always have on my Hiss. And I like having the rockets on the side, even though I don't really like those rockets. But, again, I think that, and I know people say you're a shill, but the fact is, you have to look at it from their point of view. It doesn't mean that it's what I want, but when you look at it from a corporate point of view and you go, okay, well, if you're a corporation and you can have them already back it, why take the risk? All right. Now, you did the vamp, it sold out. I don't think we're ever going to get a vamp again. I think we're going to get a vamp Mark II. But I think that if you want the vamp, I think you're shit out of luck. I really do. You'll probably get a retro breaker again, or you'll probably get a retro breaker. But I don't think they're going to do another vamp, and I don't blame them. That vehicle, I think, is just going to go up in price. But you're going to get a vamp Mark II. Because you remember, after the, if I remember correctly, in the cartoon, after the Mark II came out, they kind of ditched the original vamp. They didn't even show it anymore. But yeah, Talib here says Hasbro is going to use the failed Engine of Vengeance as a base for the Thunder Machine. They can't, but it's a good idea. But they can't, because whatever they did, that should go directly to Marvel. Disney owns that. But no, like the front end, like that, perfect, like that front end. But I'm thinking like the modern Challenger, like have the modern Challenger front end. Now Gladiator Break says updated Mobat would be sick. Don't forget the OG was motorized, add some hatches and compartments. So I think that if they were going to do a Mobat, what they would do is they would make it in the same vein as an Abrams, which is the Mauler, but you do it green, all right, and then you. Oh yeah, I meant clutch. Sorry, thank you very much. I didn't even mean. Yes, yeah, he meant clutch. Thank you. I can't believe everyone wasn't ragging on me. But I kind of lost my train of thought. But no, I like the idea of changing things around. But again, as a corporation, they don't want to lose money if they don't have to, and they know that they can do it as a HasLab. So, but I do think that if they modernize things or they change things around, then once they get that mold, they will reuse it. But I think right now you're kind of seeing the stingers are all over. Now the problem comes, hey, is Sergeant Reds, is BBTS and Entertainment Earth and Hella Dope Toys. Are these guys going to really buy that many? 44D says Dodge won't license the Challenger unless it's the complete vehicle. Again, just you make something that is similar to it. I mean, that's all that I'm saying, right? It's just you just get something that's similar to it. I only said the Challenger because I love the Challenger. If you were already going to do a Firebird, then you just ask. I mean, if you're already going to license the front end of the Firebird, let's say you were going to actually officially license it, you ask them if you can also do the Camaro, right? This way, same company, you're not going to go to two different ones. And Crimson Cobra Commander says, Punk, do you think we... Okay. Punk, do you think we will see made to order for classified? I do. And I talked about this before. I actually do think that we might see that eventually. They've done it with Star Wars, and they've done it with Marvel. There is no reason why they shouldn't do it with classified. And I think, and this is my personal opinion with this, I don't know if they're going to do this. Airborne, you may have more of an insight on this. I don't like the fact that, hey, they may eventually reuse the Dragonfly as a as a Tigerfly, or they might repaint the hiss. If you want to redo the hiss, that's fine. If you want to do the Dragonfly, that's fine. You should not use the molds that we spent our money to back. This is my personal opinion. I'm not saying they won't. I don't have a problem with the figures because we know we're eventually going to get, Ripcord and Crazy Legs. I can't believe we haven't yet, but I understand that. But I don't want to see those molds be reused, and I'm not saying they won't. But if you do a made to order, now for anyone that's wondering, I guess I should explain the made to order. The way the Hasbro Pulse does it is they give you a time window. You can order as many as you want, but you have this window, and when that window closes, no more being made. Now you don't pay for it until the end. So they did it with that. Hasbro did it with the big dragon guy. They did it with, I think, Jabba's palace, the inside of it. They've done it with a couple times. I think with Star Wars, I think they did a couple times. I think they did the Sentinel was made to order, I believe. Matthew says they haven't used a HasLab mold yet, and I made to order a new offering or something similar. Oh, I know they haven't yet, and I hope that they don't. But if you do a made to order, that means like you're backing it. Now you can back out of it at any time. You don't pay for it until it ships. So I'd have less of an issue with that. Because I think that's probably a better way to do it. But again, you go to the HasLabs, these are supposed to be dream projects. Now, if we go back to dream projects, is the Snowcat a dream project? I don't know if it is. Will I back it? Yeah. Because I have everything already. Would I rather spend $450 on a whale than $300 on a Snowcat? Yes. I'll just say it right now. Lee86 jumping in here saying, for the algorithm, thank you very much. Please hit that like button if you haven't. It really is, again, the question becomes, what is a dream project? Please, there's 121 people. Please hit that like button. There's 88 likes right now. It helps the algorithm. It helps me talk GI Joe. I don't really need that. But it is one of those, one of those things where I lost my train of thought. What truly is the dream project? That's that's the whole thing. I think that you have to look at the dream project when people talk about the hiss, and it's like, yes, maybe a hiss wasn't a dream project, but the dream project to put lights in it, to have the back door open up, it lights up on the inside. There's a seat to transport Cobra Commander, to have new going, like to put the design and effort into it. That might be your dream project. I love the Robo Skull, but it holds one figure, and I mean, what can you do with it per se? Now it's up to you, right? I want something new, and I mean, I can go buy another Robo Skull if I want. I have one, so I just think that it's just one of those crazy things when you look at what a dream project is. So when you look at what the Snowcat's going to be, and if your Snowcat is like, all right, well, why is this a dream project? If they can fit 2 to 4 figures in the back, it has not only the missiles, but it also has a gun turret on it, a gun turret that goes up and down too. Crazy concept. With working treads, which that it will, right? That becomes your dream project. You're adding to it. You're creating it, making it so we can fit these figures into it. that changes it. That makes it your dream project. Not just, hey, you know what, we're going to do a very similar version of the um of the Snowcat. No working treads, but we make it look nice, like they can work. Nothing, so you can't fit anything in the back. That just turns into a regular project. Like the Vamp would not have been a good dream project because what was really different about it? Now, do a 4-door Jeep, right? Different weapon systems on it. Wheels that actually actuate back and forth, have lights, then that becomes your dream project. So I think some people have to look at it that way. That the dream project is adding to, not just recreating the O-ring version of it. Talib says, now will Hasbro put name Joes as tiers or variants like they did with the Dragonfly? I think you're going to get named characters of Snow. I could fully see a Snow Snake Eyes, kind of like what I did in my picture, in the thumbnail. I kit bashed one, so I can kind of see something like that. Chaz the Guru was saying the same thing. I wish it was the whale, but I'm excited for the Snowcat. And I'm with you, and I wish it was the whale too, because I think that's one of the best vehicles they ever made. I heard someone say, "Well, it has to float." It doesn't have to float. And someone's like, "Oh, if they did a whale, it'd have to float. It has electronics. It doesn't have to." All right. Very few people are going to stick that thing in the fucking water. Now, maybe Ed would. Ed loves his crick. A full classified scale whale, I could actually float down the river. Yeah. Chaz is saying, what do you say? Thank God, not the Mobat. I just don't see how they make the Mobat to look classic. Because if you don't make it look classic, then people bitch that's not classic. If you make it looking classic, guess what they're going to say? It only holds one figure. I used to like, you might remember, do you remember the Army Men tank that it had the back hatch that opened up and you could throw all your Army Men in there? It was scaled the exact same size. I'm not talking about the little one. There was a full size one. It was the same size, actually a little bit bigger than the Mobat. I like playing with that more because I could just push it around. It was also a lot cheaper. Ed says, I'm not afraid of the mud or water. They can always be washed. And I have 40-year-old dirt on a lot of these toys. So Johnny says, I would rather see Snow Duke Scarlet and Heavy Duty with Frostbite. Then you get one each body type. Yeah, I could see it being a female, one of the females. To be honest, I think someone else had said it too. I think Flint and Lady J probably fit really good, to be 100% honest. But Duke and Scarlet also were in their snow outfits. Maybe it will be Gung Ho in his snow outfit from the Polar Battle Bear, which is just retro Gung Ho. Someone also, I heard someone also mention Alpine, which Alpine's already snowed up, to be honest. He's going to be, climbing mountains. It's going to be cold there. So you wouldn't have to do too much other than change the color. But I think they're going to be named characters. I think they try and stay away from, because from what I understand, originally, the Dragonfly was supposed to have a steel core figure. And I believe they changed it because they kind of saw the backlash. So they went with all named characters, which I think is better anyway, especially for GI Joe. Because when you go Night Force or, you do Arctic, you're not going in with the main the main figures, the main characters, but not the main classic version that we're all used to. Pop Leonard says, I want the Ice Cream Soldier if we're going snow related just for fun, even though I hate that figure. Well, if Emily had her way, she'd give it to you. See, it was supposed to be a Steel Corps commander. And I heard that from numerous people. Okay. And, that's one of those, things where I just don't think it would have worked. So give the Steel Corps as an army builder and I think what they did with the Dragonfly, that was perfect. Where was it? Caress Lupin says, did love Iceberg used to put Cesspool's helmet on him as a Star Wars blast shield helmet, then make sounds like boom. See, now I don't think that you're gonna get any main characters, like main snow characters, main Arctic characters like Iceberg in it. That would be stupid on their part because you want to sell that. Let's be honest. The Polar Battle Bear is coming. Who are you going to give it with? Are you going to do Snow Job again? I mean, I think the Polar Battle Bear, even though Snow Job was known to be on it, I think that is prime for Iceberg. Eventually, you're going to do a retro version of Snow Job because not everyone got him, and he shot up in price, and he was a deluxe figure. And if you have a Wakando, especially a Tiger Force Wakando, you can watch my video and you can turn Snow Job into an actual jungle guy because let's be honest, there's not always snow missions going on, and those head sculpts were awesome. So anyway, Matt O'Brien says, I love for it to come with an Arctic dial tone so I can actually have a dial tone. Matt, 100% honest, that might push it over. Maybe just start with Arctic dial tone. I think that would actually be really good, to be 100% honest. I think that would actually be pretty good. There are so many cool snow characters. That's why I like the O-ring. Again, if you look at the thumbnail, you'll see the Kit Bash Snake Eyes that I made using That's why you'll see the Snake Eyes in the Snow Job uniform. It just fits. It's awesome. And I think having a Snake Eyes in Snow Job's outfit, obviously a little bit tinkering a little bit, I think that would be awesome, right? But yeah, so I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things that they can do. Matthew says Shark Eyes uses Arctic Quinn, and it's 90% reuse even between the two figures in the pack. Okay, I don't know what he's talking about. Something I thought you were suggesting. See, and there's something right there. You do Snake Eyes in an arc like what Quinn has, and then you pop out Quinn and regular release. Someone also mentioned Big Ben, and Big Ben is already Arcticized, right? So Big Ben would be awesome because he was a Target or a Walmart release. He was only used in Night Force, although he looks like regular. So it is one of those, I could see them doing him awesome. We're gonna find out soon. I mean, 2.5 weeks, I believe. I would assume they usually do 45 days, and they usually end on Mondays. Works out for me. And I mean, all HasLabs usually end on Monday nights for some odd reason. Just how they normally do it. So, JLS Comics jumping in here saying won't happen, but I like Ghost Bear. That was Ghost Bear. Must be one of those newer, fancier things after my time. and there is precedence to do a Arctic Snake Eyes. because my son had one, and I actually have it. It's a modern 4-inch figure that he's. Oh, maybe that's what Matthew was talking about. But yeah, there's a snow suit. He came with the hell did he come with? I want to say that he came with the Snowcat, the blue and red Snowcat. Tell me you wouldn't see that one coming. But yeah. Oh, he meant Big Bear. Okay. I don't know. It's been a long fucking day. All right. Anyway, Max Power CG jumping in saying, "Do you think Hasbro will ever do October Guard figures?" I don't. I just think with everything with the politics of today, they won't fucking do Hooded Cobra Commander. All right. They won't do Hooded Cobra Commander. So I would love them to. I mean, they're figures that I think people would love. They'd be a perfect San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Or they could do San Diego Comic-Con for some of them, and the other ones, do PulseCon. It's a perfect for an exclusive. I just don't think it. And everyone Customs saying October Guard isn't likely anytime soon. Will R says October Guard and Hooded Cobra Commander confirmed. It is crazy, but again, unlike the small independent companies, Hasbro really looks at politics, and that's how certain things are going to be run. Which is funny because they will do. I know people say, "Well, there's certain figures that are actual ends, not C," and they'll do it, which is part of a Disney property that allows them to do it, which is crazy, but it's then it's crazy. Cobra Commander says, if Valiverse did a Hooded Cobra Commander figure, then Hasbro would do one. No, because they already have Operation Monster Force. It's actually not Operation Monster Force. What is Operation Monster Force doing it? Fresh Monkey Fiction is doing it. It may not be part of the Operation Monster Force. Dark Eon's jumping in here into Polar Poco. Any word news on Pythona or Globulus? Pythona is coming. I think she was actually confirmed. She wasn't confirmed by Hasbro, but it's been confirmed. Globulus is going to come. You are not going to do a Nemesis Immortal and not do Globulus. So I think that I think it's going to come. I think that I could see that being like a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive maybe next year. But yeah. But who knows? I don't know. There's so many figures, and I can't wait. And I hope that they start tying into other iterations of GI Joe. I mean, they do it with the legacy characters. I hope that they do it with other characters of GI Joe, because it's really what they need. And I hope they start making new ones. I'm not reading the Energon universe, but I know they're creating new characters, and I hope that they do it. Johnny, yes, Soldier of Fortune. Thank you very much. But there's a whole bunch of Hooded Cobra Commanders. Here's what people have to understand also about Hooded Cobra Commander. Now the people that are buying the mask to go on retro Cobra Commander. Hooded Cobra Commander was dark blue. M.A.S.K Cobra Commander is not. So you either have to paint them, get the old Cobra Commander with the fucked up boots or you have the wrong colored Cobra Commander, hooded Cobra Commander. John's still jumping in here as I'm about to take off, saying, got myself a Marvel Legends today, and I don't know if it's a bad copy or what, but the quality doesn't seem up to par with GI Joe. It all depends. It really does. It depends on what figures they are. People have told me that the quality of the quality of the Marvel universe, the MCU figures aren't as good. I don't think it's that the quality isn't as good because I think like the plastic is the same. I think that it's how they're designed. Sometimes they're not designed as good. The Marvel Legends, they're not always designed nearly as nice. That's what makes some of these newer figures really nice. But it kind of sucks. I'll give you that. They could easily make some modifications. That's Marvel Legends. They really need to, and I think they're starting to. I think they really are starting to as time progresses. So, GI Jetman says they could do a fridge because he's still alive. They could do with him like they do with, but I don't think that his family will allow it to happen. I know he's still alive. That is what I have heard, that his family will not allow people to use his likeness. That is the rumor that I have heard from people, and I've heard it from more than one person. I could be completely wrong because it could be one of those that it got passed on by the same person. But you don't see anything about the fridge. Like you don't see him being like, you don't see his likeness being used for anything. All right. But you are right. He's still alive, but you know, his family still has, I believe they kind of like have the say. And for some odd reason, there's no reason why. I mean, he's not in good health. And I mean, if I'm him, I'm like, yeah, let's do this. So I'm going to get going. I have to work in the morning. I have to drive all the way to work. Okay, see, so Airborne Customs, you're not wrong. That's the info that has been going around for years. I will say it again. If you know who Airborne Customs is on Facebook, if you know who he actually is, or if you see him in a show and he tells you something, you might want to believe him. I will reiterate, like Chris from the Full Force, he will kind of let you know when things like, it's not what I've heard, or yeah, okay. So just beware. There are certain people that know for sure. So, but I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys all for tuning in. 116. How many likes do we have right now? Do we break the 100 likes because there are 116 people watching? I don't know how we don't have 97 likes. So close. 175 votes. How do I get 175 fucking votes, but only 97 likes? You people make no sense. But I love you all. You make this Monday enjoyable. Do not make Tuesday morning enjoyable. But anyway, join me tomorrow along with Baldy Locks, Toy Optics, Action Media Terry, and possibly Tony's Figs as we do Circle of Jerks at 6:30 p.m. At 9 p.m., the Toilet Takeover with Travis, fucking Not Moody, Hexastack, and Ed. They do their show. And then at 10 o'clock, my other moderator, Matthew Matson and Pop Blender, they do their show, The Evening Blend. It is a jam-packed Tuesday. You guys just tune in at 6:30, and then you don't have to go anywhere until Wednesday. And then Wednesday, we'll be back at 8 to talk some GI Joe and what we saw. And then I'm going to be on the back, and I'm sorry, 3-star, I don't know, Aces Wild, I don't know, something like that. Cards are wild, I don't know. I'll be over on fucking 3-star Draws channel Wednesday after we do. Sevens Wild, whatever. Fucking change it to what I know what it is. You probably not, I'll probably never get a link. Probably not getting a link to it. Anyway, I got a busy week in work and in this. I'm going to get out of here. If I don't, I'll keep talking. Please hit that like button if you haven't yet. Let's get us over the 100 before the show ends. How 104 likes. Why do I have to ask? 175 votes. 49% are happy with the Snowcat. 45 happy. 31 no. And 24 people just don't give a shit. And that's cool. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys all tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. You can tune in here on my channel if you want, or watch it on Baldy Fucks Reviews or Toy Optics or Action Media. Everyone have a wonderful night, and we'll see you guys right back here to talk some more toys.